unleash rapid attacks with his BD clubs. When facing tough opponents, Daredevil taps into the Beast's power, amplifying his martial arts for even more deadly strikes. Activate his ultimate ability, and Daredevil fully unleash the Beast. Any enemy who dares look at him will be gripped by fear, awaiting his cold justice. This update brings another round of team-up ability adjustments. We are removing Ragnarok Rebirth and taking Nemo out of Gamma Charge. 2 brand new team-up abilities are coming: Bestial Hunt.
Here they are, the fools.
And Deep Rest.
Yo, what's up, Destiny?
Season 4.5 will also introduce an exciting new mode.
How you doing?
With details to be revealed at the Thailand Game Show on October 7th.
Alright, I'm eating my breakfast right now.
We've prepared a special Halloween event and themed costumes so we can celebrate this mysterious and lovely season together. We've heard the community's requests for cross-platform progression. We have made it a top priority, and it's been frantically cooking in development behind the scenes. We're excited to share that the feature is now ready.
We love that. We love that.
For a smooth launch, we'll first invite a small group of players to test and provide feedback during Season 4.5 before officially launching cross-progression for everyone.
I'm trying to get as much of my food done before the match kicks off.
In settings, other, account linking. Once you set a main character from one platform, you will use it across all linked accounts. You can switch your main character, but there will be a cooldown between changes. Please note, your rank and leaderboard position will remain separate for each.
Should I bump up the
when you play on PC,
the stream audio?
PlayStation, or Xbox, your
Is it really
current
low?
Stats and rank are checked independently for each device.
Or is it good where it's at? For the time being, at least.
We're introducing home screen background customization. You can freely set previous season's main page animations and music, and even download high-res image of the login and lobby screens. Zhiyong is still hard at work on balance changes. Stay tuned for upcoming balance announcements and detailed team-up ability adjustments. And as always, ignite the battle.
It's a little low. I'll move it up just a little bit.
For what I am about to do. I see you. You've been judged. Face the devil. Wrath of the beast. Hellfire.
Why did I just get a thing from Stream Elements saying the Stream Elements bot is running? I hope so, bro. I've been using that shit for a long time.
Ruthlessness is mercy.
Which ones have what it takes to become the best of the best?
The fight is gonna happen right here, right now. Welcome back to the group stages of the Marvel Rivals Ignite Atlanta Grand Finals. As we're here after a barn burner of a match, we
I don't get the Stream Elements bot.
Series with a very relieved FlyQuest managing to win out in the end against OUG. And now we head into just as stressful a situation for our next two teams, 100 Thieves, and it's going to be Na'Vi, the current defending mid-season champions, who've been having a little bit of a tougher time as of late.
Yeah, they've been in a rough spot at the moment, not as strong as they used to be, losing some key members as well before Stage 2 came in, but luckily they were able to come into that, coming after mid-season finals, coming into Stage 2, and then making it here again to that Grand Finals is a bit of, again, another sigh of relief for Na'Vi as well.
Speaking about that again, let's bite into 100 Thieves because we have to talk about the Bucky, especially because Citadel.
The good thing today, though, Destiny, is
yesterday and now have shown a clear strategy.
We hopefully shouldn't have to be live for 9 hours.
Really inconvenient spot. Banning out Delena's hero pool, including the Winter Sword that he started taking.
Because the Thieves play second and fourth today.
Yeah, Terra being backbone of 100 Thieves. Without 100 Thieves, it's not even 100 Thieves without Terra. Terra really has been the backbone of the entire team, carrying his 6 members, maybe 7 if you include the coach as well. So, but for now, the star really has been Terra.
I mean, Terra and I think TTK as well. Like we have to give flowers to TTK.
Yeah, TTK is a dog too.
But 100 feels like, I feel like you have to go for the duelist lineup in terms of banning out because everybody else is just so flexible. Harvey started out being known as the Loki and is now branched into so many different strategies. He's happy to take up the Invis. Delena probably not so happy to be stuck on the Invis after yesterday's ban draft on that last map. So I would expect when we go into the save parts of the ban drafts, we're going to be seeing a little bit more focus on safeguarding some of Delena's picks rather than Terra's.
Yeah, like you mentioned it perfectly. All the teams have been starting to pick up on just focusing down Delena. You can't really stop Terra. He does so much of the work. He knows so many different heroes. He knows how to play most of them. And if you focus on Terra, you're just kind of just hitting yourself against the wall a little bit, trying to limit something that you cannot stop. So instead of Terra, why don't you just move on over down the roster and you look at Delena.
Well, let's move on from 100 Thieves and let's have a look at Na'Vi because Na'Vi, back when they were known under the organization of Rad, they had a reputation for being one of the
how Na'Vi played yesterday.
In accordance to the ban draft.
They kind of struggled against
all the way back
the team that the Thieves
swept in those grand finals. So I would expect that we're going to be seeing them really looking
I think the Thieves should be able to close this one out.
Against 100 Thieves here today, as like you mentioned, this is not the same team. There's been a couple of movements here and there, losing.
But they did struggle against Citadel, unfortunately.
To them, as too was the fact that their last series went the distance. Na'Vi were coming in the 3rd seed in EMEA, barely managing to qualify over Chopped, and then for the first match of their showing here in Atlanta, it went the distance and they dropped a map against a team I don't think a lot of people expected them to drop a team versus.
It is none other than the team we literally just watched play. It was OUG who did take a map off of Na'Vi yesterday in their match, something that all of us really just surprised essentially throughout this entire tournament, and they were so close to crossing that finish line, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be. But for now, we set our sights onto that first map, which is always going to be Domination. Keep in mind that Domination will be the first map always in these series. As we move on to maps 2 and 3 is when things open up, as teams do have options to go either Convoy or Convergence.
Well, our random domination map is going to be Celestial Husk, and there are so many good compositions on this map.
I do not know the
Flyers
maps.
are incredibly strong here. We're probably not going to be seeing.
So I don't remember which ones I've seen and which ones I haven't.
Nerfs, but the Star-Lord is still one of the strongest duelists in the skies. With all of the natural cover that you have around Celestial Husk, you can hide behind it, activate your Galactic Legend, and
I feel like the Thieves played this one yesterday.
Ultimate that it's going to greenlight as a counter.
But I'm not sure.
See what is going to be able to make its way through. Mantis has been removed for both of these teams, but now the question becomes this.
Yeah, early Mantis ban.
Is 100 Thieves going to prioritize something that Delena can play because Terra is so flexible in all of these other duelist roles? It's nigh impossible to be able to ban him out.
So far, the Jeff will be the option, and the Mantis as well. So no Mantis so far this entire day, but Na'Vi, they saved the Emma Frost, but 100 Thieves
ban Jeff. It seems like maybe after yesterday, they really don't like playing against Jeff.
Yes. This is really good as well from 100Thieves because this is Adam Warlock on domination, one of his strongest map types. Even if you're losing the fight, as long as you've got point control, you're still winning in regards to the fight over point percentage. Na'Vi have been able to secure themselves, however, one-sided Emma. So that's going to be really, really good at putting pressure on 100Thieves in these retake situations with Silent Destruction to be able to walk your team forward, plus being able to help out in case there's a dive coming on through. As we see the Jeff getting banned out, which means that Na'Vi don't have to have one of their players with CC immunity to take out the ultimate, but 100Thieves have got options here. Delena can play the Adam, but we've also seen him play the Winter Soldier. However, that's also Terra's own staple hero that he is arguably the best in the world at. This is a very good draft adaptation coming on through from Thieves.
Yeah,
Okay, we like that. Good draft from the Thieves.
100 Thieves, so Navi's options in terms of what they could go for is a little bit limited, but Na'Vi do find a way back in this draft as they take out Vinny, who is a very, very strong group player, and that is another crucial pick for 100 Thieves that they cannot have access to.
It does mean as well that you don't have Strangling Prison to combine with Kraken Impact, but it also means now that you didn't get to take out something like the Loki. Now, do 100Thieves use this last ban to deny the Bucky, so that if they do want to play a Loki lineup with Harvey, they don't have to worry about the resets with the Doppelgangers, but no, they're going to actually remove the Captain America coming on out from the side of Trust Me, forcing him onto the Venom. Now, you could argue that the Venom in this capability on this patch is stronger than the Captain America.
I've noticed when I watch like esports, I don't know as much. I definitely struggle a little bit more on like finding what to talk about.
Coming on through from both the Hela and if they decide to play for it, the Adam too.
So many different options, so many different ways to approach the draft. This is a meta where so many of these heroes are so good. We could even argue every single one. We saw a Widow yesterday. We saw an Iron Fist just now.
I did finish my food though. Really now I'm just taking my.
Okay, I'm gonna put an asterisk there. We saw a Widow with a Mantis damage boost. That was the only reason that strategy was viable in the first place with the one-shot capabilities to be able to find those eliminations in the downtime rotations. As we're going to be seeing absolutely no downtime here for domination. It is all cards on the table to be able to secure this first fight for dive. They want to be able to disrupt from the second approach. For the counter dive, they want to be able to have the opportunity to mark the positions of both the Venom and the Psylocke to prevent them from going for the commitment onto that back line. We are going to see an absolute attrition warfare coming on through from these two sides, with neither giving an inch until
hey, we're kicking off much quicker today than
looks like Na'Vi are quick
than we did yesterday.
Move. Trust me, swings right on in, still undetected. I'm not sure if Vinny was able to spot him out just yet.
Happy about that.
Just running donuts around the walls, but for now, 100 Thieves look to try to take
now we can lock in a little bit here.
We saw him hover over the Venom, but it looks like he's opted to the Captain America as Rajaro gets dangerously low, but is able to get away in the nick of time.
TK on that Magneto has already established his position on the front line as well. Now that Na'Vi are going to have to get past this Magneto, they do have the ammo for the rush time potential to bully him out of that space. We still haven't really got to see the dive come into play. So it's going to be
okay, we got Vinny as Captain America.
And out. Disruption, one and done. Back over to the backline, fuels the Venom, now puts the pressure onto the Emma too, and this is what we were talking about. Both of these teams not going for the full commitment, both investing the ultimates the second that they've got them up.
So dive tanks are interesting to me because
Na'Vi were able to
like a dive DPS
to just get
makes sense,
going first, and Na'Vi
but a dive
find their
tank
first touch
I feel is a little more confusing to me because I feel like with the tanks you're supposed to you're supposed to protect your team, right? Like you're kind of like the first line of defense in a sense.
Set it up? You don't have a stun to be able to force Na'Vi into stacking into this because the group was banned out from the side of Vinny. So this Kraken Impact is likely going to be just putting pressure on the players not wanting to let them have the stack. Out comes down to the butterflies. The heal and the soul bond though, alone not enough. Combined absolutely more than needed to be able to deal with
Thieves are about
the
to have 5
ultimate.
ults, although Millennia ripped it right away.
Coming on through from the side of Trust Me, but Na'Vi have been able to keep their position on this point and not allow 100Thieves in.
Terra sounds the voice line, but everyone else popping their voice lines as well. Vinny trying to use that freedom charge to keep his own team alive. Fade already sent to the sidelines, needs to make his way back into the fray. But 100Thieves,
we gotta cap the point here. They're up to 50,
but look on
almost
the tail
60%.
end as Na'Vi take out 3. But Terra, he's clapped things back with a double here as Na'Vi do have a man advantage, but it's not saying much as Terra still on a tear, but he finally gets neutralized by a laser from Rajaro. TTK follows suit.
Yeah,
and Na'Vi keep the
this is
going.
not the best of starts here in this first round for the Thieves.
Terra in a position with the Winter Soldier and let TTK rip with the Meteor M, and he's going to be off the Winter Soldier onto the Star-Lord just to have a better chance of being able to mark the Venom and the Psylocke's position as they play into these retakes. TTK does have the Meteor M, doesn't have to hold it for the Galactic Legend to be able to prevent it. That's likely going to be the ultimate 100Thieves look to be able to buy themselves the space. The Star-Lord's already found the Venom. There's the marking coming into play with the Duelist swap, and he's got the ability to make it back to his team. But in the interim, Vinny falls, and now 100Thieves have to go aggressively forward with the Soulbind.
Terra trying to spin, but will he find a win? TTK does find.
Dude, we're losing
the
all the fights.
Of Naga, but Trust Me and Rajaro, the two front line of Na'Vi, are just going to put a wrench in their momentum. 100Thieves, can they complete the heist? No, the TP does not come.
We literally
in time
lost every fight.
Na'Vi shut out 100Thieves in round number 1.
Yeah, Portal wasn't in time, no body block needed. You could see as well that Na'Vi Rajaro
that
was
is
already getting into
not a great
position
start
on
for the
Amazon to
Thieves.
intercept, Diamond Form into spinning kick, denying anyone getting through. And that means that the 100Thieves don't have a portal option here to be able to drop themselves into a fight quickly and try and put the pressure onto level 1 Crook to use the fate of both worlds. And the problem here for Harvey now is that if they use the Cosmic Ion Amplifier, they have to be able to combine the damage very, very quickly to take down someone on Na'Vi's side, as opposed to Na'Vi's side, who are going to be able to use level 1 Crook's ultimate to have the time to take Harvey's ultimate down, which has a health bar attached to it.
I mean, we have triple healers, and we're still getting... We're still losing fights faster.
Adapt to the situation where the Cosmic Yarn is just so easily focused down, and it's a lot more heavier of an emphasis. Now that the damage boost is now up to 40%,
yeah,
it puts a lot
definitely
more
need to have
of
a better round
exclamation
here.
Point for Na'Vi to go for that object, go for it now, or else we lose this fight.
Terra's going to have a tough time too using this Galactic Legend because Rajaro's just going to use the Sonic Seduction to be able to entice the Star-Lord a little bit closer. TTK, like you said, already using that full look, which means he's not going to be able to come through with the ultimate until we get the next cycle. Feast of the Abyss and Dance with the Butterflies combine together to make a
early Terra ult.
And all of the ultimates start to come out.
Oh my God.
Na'Vi have the upper hand though. The Star-Lord's already been able to find 2. They just get to push so aggressively forward with the Lunar Ultimate Safeguard. And as we talked about, the Cosmic Ion Amplifier is but a blip on the 100Thieves timeline. It's taking
we have not won a single team fight. We haven't won a single team fight.
Does the trick. Na'Vi, they realized that Terra was popping the Galactic Legend, and Na'Vi just steamrolled through 100Thieves, and that was the correct play. Now Naga and Fate have their ultimates available. Melania does have the invisible boundary, so keep your eyes on that invisible boundary, because that could be the difference here in this next fight. But Vinny also having that freedom charge, as does Delena with the Karmic Revival. It all
I don't know if like domination is like
Na'Vi make the hold happen.
Navi's best mode, or
Na'Vi
what?
unfortunately forced out with that invis boundary, and Harvey swapping over to the Cloak and Dagger is going to be able to put more pressure on the Venom with the Terracate blinds. Out comes the Galactic Legend, freedom charge from Vinny to answer in pursuit, pushing 100Thieves' position so that they don't get boxed into those small spaces the way that Na'Vi punished them previously, because the fate of both worlds wasn't there, but the Feast of the Abyss and Dance of the Butterflies could be so quickly generated that 100Thieves would have been boxed into
there we go.
They cannot afford to take.
There we go. Finally won a team fight here.
And now if Na'Vi sink the ultimate,
getting some
Delena
control.
is going to be laughing. He's going to be able to make the stock exchange of the Karmic Revival coming on through to get the entire rest of the team back up.
Yeah, great defensive play coming in from 100Thieves with the Soul Bond, just nullifying the damage that came out of Naga. Vinny as well, keeping these in favor of 100 Thieves with that Freedom Charge, and as soon as that ended, 100 Thieves come right back swinging, and 100 Thieves now completed the retake, but can they make the hold happen? He finds Jureki, who has to dash away from a diving Vinny, but trust me, is doing the same on 100 Thieves' backline as Jureki. Millennia will get taken out. Level 1 Crook will find another one as well, but Delena will bring everyone right back into the fray as Terra yet again trying to write his own legend as he tries to find any sort of frags, but it does zone away the rest of Na'Vi, but TTK with the stun, but the Fate of Both Worlds from level 1 Crook will keep everyone alive and well on the side of Na'Vi. Harvey as well, popping that Eternal Bond just to equalize the fight, and Na'Vi trying to find more ways in as they have so much more options available to them.
Invisible boundary is still held in the pocket for Millennium.
Gotta trade.
That Fate's got the Cosmic Ion Amplifier, is waiting for the right moment to be able to use it so that Na'Vi
gets another
to
one.
start landing those damages. BRB is going to be able to bring back level 1 Crooks. They think that this is their opportunity, but Millennium's ultimate buys the time for 100 Thieves to turn and yet again take down the Cosmic Ion Amplifier.
Let's go. Thieves are getting the kills here.
To a final fight territory.
They're getting the
Na'Vi
picks.
They have to reset quickly. They're going to come through with another fight. They've got the Stone Extraction to open up the space to use both the Galactic Legend to force Vinny's ultimate and then come through with the later dance of the butterflies before 100 Thieves balls are defensive. So for them, they have to take Jerky down.
Na'Vi make it to the site in time and will light up the overtime candle. 100 Thieves, though, they know that Na'Vi have to stay on the site if they want to contest this point for any longer as Jerky kicks things off.
I don't know if I'd say they have to win this team fight,
both trying to rain down hell, trying to dance onto the 100 Thieves. But
they definitely have a lot of pressure if they don't.
One, as Millennia does go down early, but 100 Thieves have their own response as Terra finds one with the Galactic Legend, but they cannot find any more as Delena uses the Karmic Revival to bring everyone right back into the fight. Level 1 Crook as well, trying to keep Na'Vi, keep them in this fight as that overtime meter slowly but surely falling as Harvey comes in with what could be the perfect Eternal Bond, but Fate with that damage boost has to draw all the attention from 100 Thieves, but is that the difference? It's going to be a 1-for-1. No BRB available for Fate, so that means Jerky's out of this fight, out of the fray, as level 1 Crook will find Terra, and it looks like things will die down as Na'Vi complete their own retake.
Was that portal? TTK swapped onto Strange. Was that portal attempted coming on through from 100 Thieves? If it was, they're not going to have it for the next overtime push when Na'Vi are sitting at 99%. No, it was not. Thank you, observers. I love it when we ask a question and they immediately give us the answer. The right click, the portal for all is still very much on charge for 100 Thieves as Delena swaps back to the Atom, will have the Soulbind, is going to try to build up the Karmic Revival before we hit the overtime and overwhelm Na'Vi with numbers alone.
TTK, one of the 3 controller players in this entire tournament, has to move the sticks perfectly here as Na'Vi look to keep the defensive going. TTK very close to that Eye of Agamotto. He has done very, very well on this hero.
Yeah, if TTK can get the
Na'Vi
ult here, that could be
climbing
huge.
closer as we head into a 99-99 scenario as Jureki finds TTK. That might be the biggest domino to fall in favor of Na'Vi as Naga as well, trying to find another frag.
Alright, that's it.
Finds the trade, but Delena also goes down, but
that's GG's.
But has to come back quickly so we can try to charge it up, but it's not gonna matter.
Oh
as
no.
Na'Vi take
We just
over
got fucking
round number
ran.
2 and map number 1.
Celestial Hand was a little
We
bit
just
of a
got
push
ran.
and pull, you know? We got the tug of war coming on out from both of those 2 compositions, but Na'Vi perfectly target focusing down the players that they had to, right? Target Harvey because you know he's going to be close to an Eternal Bond when the fight moves over to objective, so that you can come on through with an unmatched Cosmic Ion Amplifier, as well as that Galactic Legend putting in the damage.
Not a great start for this series.
That means that you get the opportunity to come through with the reactionary Cosmic Ion Amplifier, so that it stays up longer, as opposed to being absolutely exploded the way that it was prior to that in every single instance.
I mean,
and it was just really good.
This was very one-sided.
Coming on through from
Very
end,
one-sided.
which meant that they got to adapt into the stranglehold that 100 Thieves had previously.
Yeah, I feel like most of these fights that really did go in.
He had triple healers too. That's what, that's what's crazy to
100
me.
Thieves, they like to go for the long game. They try to grind down Na'Vi and try to find a way to just slowly halt the train that is coming. But Na'Vi, they have got other options. They just go straight in. I don't care if you have an ultimate. We're just gonna go, bam, right in and blow up the entirety of 100 Thieves, and that was the difference here in this Celestial Husk, and Na'Vi now have the upper hand.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing some of those highlights so that we can properly talk through some of the things that Na'Vi's dives were getting to do. And one of the huge things that I really want to talk about that I spotted from this team was that they were mixing up the duration of the dives. Sometimes it would be a soft dive coming on through, just trust me, being there with the token resistance pressure of that Venom. And then other times it would be the instantaneous hit of him and Jerky coming on through with those ultimates, to the point that 100 Thieves, when the dive came through, they didn't really know whether it was going to be a follow-up dive looking for an elimination, or if it was just a sort of push into 100 Thieves space to be able to set up the motion for something else a little bit later on down the line. And that is one of the things that dive really punishes, right? You're correct. Na'Vi was so aggressive that a lot of the time 100 Thieves had to panic react coming on through with the muscle memory, and that means that things slip through, right? Sometimes you overcommit when you don't have the time to be able to set up all of those boundaries.
All right.
But we'll have to see whether or not there is going to be a boundary set between these two teams. Is it going to be a turnaround for 100 Thieves when we head into map number 2 after this break?
I need to get some more flavors. Right now, the only one I have is the orange dreamsicle. Or just the orange dream. I gotta figure out what other flavor I would want primarily, though, because I like all the flavors. I have to see what's available. I think I could do like one of the standard packs. Get me a couple of most of the flavors, and then. Because I think blue raspberry is my favorite. Blue raspberry might be my favorite. It's just so easy to drink. Plus, I like that with the blue raspberry, you can get like the variety of pack where, because I also really like the watermelon lime. It's one of the OG flavors, but it's so good. Sometime this week, I'm probably going to have to figure out if I can either get somebody to come to me to update my BIOS for my PC, or I'll need to figure out if I need to take my PC somewhere to get the BIOS updated. Because
which ones have what it takes to become the best of the best?
I want to make sure I get it done before COD comes out. I don't want to miss out on that.
Welcome back to the Marvel Rivals Ignite Grand Finals group stages, as we are right in the middle of the first seed from America, 100 Thieves, versus the third seed from EMEA in Na'Vi.
So if Na'Vi was mid-season champs, but they were third seed of EMEA,
what exactly do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be a convoy?
Who is the number 1 seed?
Either way, I feel like we're going to be seeing a triple Vanguard hold come through at some point.
Yeah, that's exactly what most of these teams have been running in this current meta, right? In these convoy and convergence maps, triple Vanguards, triple strategists really have been the name of the game. Obviously, the objective not to win all the fights, but just try to burn as much of that clock as possible. 4 minutes of that timer needs to be burned as much by that just that defensive bulwark of Vanguards, and then the supports coming in from the strategists.
I forgot to go back and grab that clip from yesterday to turn it into a short, turn it into a short form video, I should say.
There are a few maps that do come in mind.
Yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves, they've had a rough go of it in terms of the matches that they've pulled. Being in a Group B, I feel like every single team, though, we can say that about them, right? It's like, congratulations, you won your region. Now go up against all of these absolute juggernauts of Marvel Rivals Esports. They went against Citadel yesterday, and they've still got to, you know...
I feel like yesterday got me all, like, talked out.
Later down the line, they've got some even harder matchups coming up.
I feel like I'm like at a loss for words because of how much extra yapping we had to do yesterday.
For good reason. So many stacked rosters here in this tournament, especially in this group. And and with so much volatility,
I've burned it all out.
As well as 100 Thieves do have a lot more to work.
Yeah, they've got FlyQuest, which
they've got FlyQuest.
That's going to be one that I think everyone is going to be looking for a rematch of, right? Because America, they always take things a little bit personally when they get beaten by other American teams. So there's a couple of
yesterday
was
brutal.
Proven here. And
it just took so much time.
Map pool, because there are certain options which I think would
it just took so much time yesterday.
Chances, being able to
and I was just saying, I felt like I was
run a lot of these dive compositions. We know as well,
you know, pulling at strings, just trying to find something to talk about.
Let's just eliminate some of these places like Spider Islands and Araco.
Yeah, two of those are very, very tough to take control of. Spider Islands just has a lot of verticality.
So now, today, I'm like, dude, I
really struggles to,
don't know what else to talk about. Like, you guys saw me yesterday, and I was talking about everything I felt like I had to talk about.
Too much for dives to try to just locate where the targets are, but right now we are we're gonna see what 100 Thieves decide to opt for, and it will be Yggdrasil Path, a map that 100 Thieves are so comfortable at playing.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those maps as well where you can run so many different things, which means that the draft system, it's so important. And oh, okay, that's a break from tradition. Na'Vi goes the right of instant banning Mantis. 100 Thieves prioritize the Emma because it means that their Vanguards aren't going to be shut down by things like the Carbon Crush. But that means that Na'Vi are going to get not one-sided Mantis. It's one-sided Strange. Actually, the team names are swapped. 100 Thieves are going to be able to get one-sided Strange, and Na'Vi are going to be able to not stop, or rather they will be able to stop 100 Thieves from picking up the Mantis if they so choose.
I was about to say, I'm kind of confused on what she's saying.
That is a gauntlet. That is saying that you can deal with 100 Thieves in a faster ultimate
So we protected Strange, banned Mantis.
Ooh,
they banned Emma Frost and Jeff. Which I feel like with TTK is tough because I feel like he's been a good Emma Frost, but I'm not sure.
Yet. Looks like Na'Vi, they were the innovators back in mid-season. It looks like they might be innovating something else. They
What's up, Mir?
Could be having Trust Me, being the mad scientist himself.
We just got ran that first map.
Na'Vi taking a different approach. Does this work out for them, or will
hopefully we can look a little better on this, because that domination was not good for us. We lost
Jeff, which is
just about every team fight
with the Jeff
that happened.
The way that we've actually
I think
a lot of teams falling prey.
I think we had maybe one or two team fight wins.
On this very map,
we lost 2-0 in that first map.
So maybe this is trying to force a storm ban, but 100 Thieves, they're not going to fall for it. It's going to be a straight ban,
it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Like I said,
2-0
in map 1.
We
got to 99% on the second round. Well, first round we didn't even get a touch. Second round we got to 99.
Don't see every day a Mantis all the way on the right side.
They came back, took it to overtime, and then won in overtime.
Taking a different approach as well. well.
We won both matches last night, though, right? No, we lost to Citadel.
Some teams take that approach.
We went to game 3 and then lost in
the
game 3 to Citadel.
If
so
the team that
there's a little bit more pressure today facing off against Navi, because we still have to face FlyQuest tomorrow.
Exactly do as they go on a heist and take away that Doctor Strange.
Are we about to see a renaissance? Terra is locking Iron Fist there. Are we going to see the curveball of
we
stage 2?
really need to make sure we're beating the teams we need to beat. Because FlyQuest is good, Navi is good. If we can beat Navi, I think that'll relieve a little bit of pressure. Because we play Crazy Raccoon later today, and I think we should be able to beat them, but they've been battling against some of these top teams. This is the first match. Yeah, this is the first match, at least for the Thieves.
Whatever the composition is,
this is the second match of the day, first match for the Thieves.
Delena now opts to go for the Winter Soldier. They leave Terra to play.
But I did not watch the first overall match.
We'll see some duelist action coming in from Delena here on Yggdrasil Path. This is a map, again, very, very comfortable for 100 Thieves. There is a reason why they chose this map here.
I think what was really concerning about last game, too, was we had triple healers and still lost.
Was on the Iron Fist for but a moment before swapping on over to that Punisher.
Yes, there is, Mir. There's
at the moment he's gonna have storm damage boost,
Citadel,
and those stack, by the way, so the
and somebody else.
Absolutely rocketing up.
FlyQuest, I think. Citadel and FlyQuest, I think, is next. Not 100% sure, though.
Deny level 1 quick from Balding, the God of Mischief. The regen domain, though, is but a cooldown for Navi's players, so even with the Loki's attention turned, he can still keep his front line nice and safe, which means 100 Thieves haven't found an in just yet. But here's when they make the push, Dan. They're going to have final judgment,
I mean,
and that's the go sign.
Two top teams there, I think.
Might be the signal, but it's going to be Delena going to initiate things, but Navi do have ways to back themselves up to survive the storm of Delena. Most notably, that Karmic Revival popped by level 1 Crook. So Naga on that Adam Warlock still has it available to them, but Fate swallows up one of the members, but is able to come back thanks to the Karmic Revival. And now 100 Thieves will just crumble to pieces. They only committed the Storm Ultimate. So it looks like 100 Thieves, they probably realized that now was not the time to go all in. They were just only using the Storm Ultimate to draw.
You gonna stay on for the game in between the second Thieves game? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stay on today since they're closer together. But then after the second Thieves match, I'm gonna call it. I gotta work out today. I didn't work out yesterday because of the schedule, so I gotta go get my workout in. I weighed myself yesterday and I was almost 160. And I'm trying to gain weight, so I need to keep going, you know what I mean? Keep grinding.
The Abyss is going to blend into the Hurricane coming on through from Delena, and it's going to be Navi stuck in choke with a storm in that backline.
Bracket a single limb? That I'm not sure.
Finally allow 100 Thieves surely to pick up first.
I'm not sure, because right now it's just a pool play. I don't know if they've really talked about the bracket yet.
Navi are able to find a way back in.
I haven't noticed if they have.
Here, as 100 Thieves do secure that point. Delena
hopefully not, though. Hopefully it's a double limb.
As well. And now Navi,
I feel like they have enough teams to do double limb.
Triple, now not the option here. Jerky
but
will go back
I don't know. I don't know how Marvel Rivals typically does their tournaments.
To find some sort of retake, some sort of defense going.
I am not familiar.
Is about to full storm to the Psylocke coming on through as Jerky gets the Idol Aura. They're also going to have the Star-Lord too. They're going full counter flyer composition. Delena's not going to have a fun time on the Ultron against his main nemesis of Hero. And we're going to see TTK with the Eye of Agamotto, but Rashara should be able to keep it in check.
It is double? Okay.
Into Carbon Crush. So for
good. Double limb tournaments are just better. Yeah, they're just better.
The more opportunity you give the Star-Lord, Galactic Legend has already been bull. And off of the back of that, 100 Thieves have to double down. Final Judgment and Invis Boundary, but Na'Vi purely disengage both of them and now get to come on through with one-sided
Fifth place teams don't move on to the bracket though. That makes sense.
Ultimate available, and that's
yeah, they gotta cut somebody from crew play.
Starts to open up the dance floor as Trust Me with a double wipes out the strategists of 100 Thieves. And now Na'Vi complete the retake, and they will continue to hold. Do 100 Thieves look for an adjustment here, or do they try to go again?
Yeah.
It looks like Delena does switch over to the sidewalk.
I mean, it does also
depend
depend
on
on
here. Terra now back to that trusty Winter Soldier that
what is
we
it?
all know
OUG?
Yeah, the movement of dive is just so stiff.
Because OUG has lost every match so far. They're 0-3.
The way that the torch does, as it's going to be Rajara chasing 100 Thieves back, and Jerky with the down to the butterfly.
So
Thieves
definitely need to win more.
Disengage, run and hide from the Emma, go
because what there's
into the
is it
Psylocke.
6 teams in a pool?
Because
we have it's Thieves, Na'Vi, FlyQuest, Citadel, OUG, and Crazy Raccoon. So
and they look to do it here.
I mean, realistically, as long as the Thieves beat Crazy Raccoon later today, even if we lose this, we still qualify.
Finds a chance to jump on the target.
OUG does not look like they're in a good spot here, having gone down 0-3 in their first 3 matches.
Back with a freedom charge of his own.
That means no Mantis ultimate to be able to stop the Galactic Legend.
But
however,
if they win their next 2 matches and the Thieves lose the rest of their matches, it could come down to like map count and things like that. So you definitely don't want to, you know, you don't want to run that risk, essentially.
TTK looks for the meteor and can he find the connection? 2 enemies in Fate's Gullet, and off the map he goes with both
Wait,
of
he
them.
spit.
But no,
he spit one of them up.
Millennium manages to dodge it.
And Terra comes back with the BRB, so Na'Vi come out empty-handed. Fake goes down, now he's forced to sprint right back, but what a hook from Terra!
What a pull
denies
from Terra.
the legend being written for Naga. He has to reposition. Now
Wait,
Terra
that was actually
has to be the difference
crazy
here. He's
pull
already
from Terra.
done so much work with that bionic hook, as Terra needs to find
right
any more
after
of
the
an advantage.
ult, he just
but
hooks him
Na'Vi
in.
have the response with the Psylocke
He didn't
seduction,
get the kill,
with
but
that
still.
dance floor coming in from Jerky of all people.
Yeah, the split, they were disengaging. Half the team running from Rajaru's ultimate, which meant half the team
Still
not
losing
there
all these
to
team
absorb
fights,
the dash
though.
damages coming on through from Jerky's end, and 100 Thieves yet again sent back to the respawn. 4 seconds left. No strange portal is going to be able to come through in time. It's up to Vinny on that Venom to just hold the line long enough for TTK to be able to set it up in time, but he has fallen, and Na'Vi should be able to prevent the portal coming on through entirely.
What a hold, what a
I feel like the
play
Thieves do
coming
not
in
look
from
as good as they did
Na'Vi.
yesterday.
Just
At least to
combining
start the
their
day.
ultimates with that Dance of the Butterfly, with the Psylocke Seduction, both
I'm
in
hoping
tandem with each other.
the loss
were
to
just
Citadel
able
did
to
not
take
like
over
chalk
all of these fights in
their
100
mental
Thieves.
and stuff.
They just couldn't have a way in. They never had a chance.
Because they don't look very good to
there
start
were
the day
some,
today.
Bright spots in these fights, most notably Terra hooking Naga out of that Galactic Legend, but in the end, it just was not enough.
They did manage to get through.
Oh,
first,
sorry, Mirror. That
but the problem
my
with
Nightbot
Hydra's
has
is
it.
that they didn't get to the truly brutal spot for the attackers team, which
Yes.
is just past third. Like
Oh,
just
because of
into
the
beginning
Virtus dot
third,
pro.
or potentially on the finish line of second, where we see so often attackers.
Yeah,
so worried about the
my bad,
defenders'
Mirror. The
respawns,
Nightbot,
that they
the
will
Nightbot's
just
tweaking.
Drop 4 or 5 ultimates.
I've had so many problems trying to set up like Nightbot and all that stuff. So I apologize.
Has to be not perfect, but it has to be
Gonna be playing
lengthy enough that
VP
it then
first.
bleeds into the second point. Otherwise, Na'Vi's time bank alone, they're going to have so much
Has
opportunity to just
has
pull up
VP
ultimates
is
and
VP
bank
good?
them.
Yeah.
I don't really know much
Having a
about
little
like
bit of a
that
buffer
that
on the
other
side of 100
pool.
Thieves really does help a lot. Like you
I know
mentioned, they
Envy's
don't
pretty good,
have
but I also
to
saw that they got
perfectly
upset the other
hold.
day.
They do have a little bit of wiggle room, but Na'Vi looking to try to disrupt that hold as they look for that Groot Knight Wombo combo. But 100 Thieves will give Vinny the thing as 100 Thieves try to look for a
Oh, we're
defensive
dead
play,
already,
but
bro.
TTK
Oh my
getting
God.
dangerously low. Well, we'll come back thanks to the BRB, but Vinny not so lucky.
Tara gets picked on
we're
the string.
dead already. We have triple. I don't understand.
For a portal recontest, they can make that move if they so choose. It is going to be.
Yeah, this might be a hot 2-0, dude. We look like shit.
For a little bit of time, long enough for a portal to be able to come on first. So you can already see, trust me, he's built up the Groot ramp just to make sure that they can park it onto the high ground if that's where Terra decides to drop the team. Looks, however, like we're not going to be.
If Thieves play to their full potential, we should win. I mean, hopefully, because right now it looks like they are not playing to their full potential.
They've got the wombo combo, they've got the strength.
They keep getting skunked.
Which means 100 Thieves have to play reactive rather than aggressive, and that means that they do manage to pick Jerky, but they still have to worry about all of the ultimates coming up through.
Everyone on Na'Vi not even investing a whole lot into this fight. 100 Thieves are slowly crumbling one after another. They're just falling one at a time.
I feel like that's the scary part.
If you can argue, but Millennia tries
like
to
regroup
to start off,
we had triple tanks,
but Na'Vi, they were able to get through the chicane, but TTK finds the slam dunk onto Fate. Millennia keeps that momentum with another pick. And finally, it seems like there's some signs of life coming in from 100 Thieves. They looked down, they looked almost out of it, but finally, with a little bit of
doing
adjustment,
something
we're
here.
able to finally stop the push that came in from Na'Vi.
Good little bit of damage there taken through from Vinny, so he can channel it over to Harvey to build up the invis boundary and have it to counterplay Rajaro's ultimate. As Terror of the Galactic Legend is going to get a free pop to come through against the invis, but not the Emma. Storm is going to send that ultimate in deep, putting the pressure, forcing the invis boundary, and also trying to find the elimination onto the teleport disc.
Okay, Harvey gets a pick out of that.
Terror so that he can't go in deep, force the ultimate reaction, and then back to the best of his team. As we're still going to be seeing the ultimates from Na'Vi, they've only lost the group, but they don't want to fully disengage around the corner because the 100 Thieves will look for more.
100 Thieves are slowly pushing that point right back to where Na'Vi just recently took control.
This is starting to look like a better hold here.
They need to find a way back in. It's most notably going to be that Galactic Legend, but Rajaro has the Silent Seduction. Can he find the Star-Lord in the nick of time? It looks like Terra was just hiding up in the high ground, but Jerky jumps out into the back line, but Millennia does come back thanks to the be right back. As Trust Me, putting up walls, putting up the options as a Strangling Prison only finds one, but the CYA from Delena will buy a bit of time. A bubble comes in onto Vinny. That's a key cooldown on 100 Thieves gone, but Na'Vi look to make the push forward through that chicane, and Fate now comes in with the jaws of that land shark, but can he find a pick? No, he does not.
Oh, he doesn't get anything. That's
huge. As Fate will
they get two picks
just
though.
Use it as a reposition mechanic.
Terror with the iframes of the Stellar Shift avoids the Jeff ultimate, and we've actually got to see as well the swap come through for Star-Lord now, so that you're closer to that Galactic Legend. Millennia's going to have to, in accordance, hold the soul to wait for that to play into the retake, as it is going to still be 100 Thieves. One fight left before they get to head into a second defense. We can start to see the portal animation coming on through from the silhouette of TTK. Jerky looking for the dance of the butterflies to land onto these players if they funnel on through, though.
This is for the map. This is for the win for 100 Thieves. If they want to stay alive in this series, the
Thieves need to win this team fight here.
A bit desperate, but a necessary one indeed. As Terra takes to the skies, but was not able to find one. A great sleep coming in, but now 100 Thieves. Can you complete the heist? Can you rob Na'Vi?
Harvey's already dead, or Delena's already dead. Sorry.
Though they look to try to find a way back in, but Delena does get picked out early as the invisible boundary has to buy things a bit of time as Jerky jumps on in. The dance is lethal as two strategists of 100 Thieves crumble before 100 Thieves' eyes as Jerky has been this star player here on Na'Vi, as everyone on 100 Thieves have to run and scram for the hills.
The patience of Jerky to wait for the strategist ultimates to be done to come through with the damage.
I have an unhealthy urge to gamble right now.
The damage onto the back line when 100 Thieves, their entire attention is forced to be on the objective, trying to prevent Na'Vi from walking it into first, and it gives them this opportunity, the second chance at life.
Put on Subway Surfers, dead ass Destiny.
They're already all into the space that the 100 Thieves want to be able to control too. They've got the high ground, they've pushed the defense fully back, which means that that cut is moving closer and closer to a final fight, and they're just going to keep pushing the defense back even further. Psionic Seduction delays any fight forming.
We're chalked, dude.
Go into a final fight territory.
Especially if we lose a player here, we're done.
Both Captain Americas popping their voice lines at seemingly the same time. Delena tries to keep at 100 Thieves beefy enough to survive what could be a onslaught of ultimates coming from Na'Vi, but they don't have anything available. So any key duelist ultimates available is the perfect time to shine, and that's going to be Terra's moment. When does he pull the trigger? When does he go for it? He goes for it now. Level 1 Crook, it's a race against time. Can Level 1 Crook get the invisible boundary in the nick of time? It doesn't seem likely, as Terra is just disrupting all of Na'Vi, and it looks like Na'Vi were quick to react, and they're
got my crashing out on a Tuesday. I'm supposed to have tacos, not pain.
They haven't fully disengaged either. They're going to be able to rotate
for real, Destiny. We can't be having a crash out already.
A minute remaining. If the fight goes long enough, Jerky's going to be able to come through.
I mean, it's still doable here.
As well as a free galactic legend.
I say that,
falls,
and then
Millennia
we go
falls.
2
The
dead.
rotation from Na'Vi has been absolutely brutal. 100 Thieves had no way of being able to stop them. The It's Jeff is going to be able to put the pressure onto the backline, hiding away, but the line of sight.
Oh my God, he missed again.
Breaks away from the E and can still come through with the save for the team.
Stop this,
Invisible boundary needs to be built up, and it needs to come through now.
Invisible boundary does come in, but is it enough? The point comes closer, closer, and closer to the finish line, but all but 66 centimeters separates the two from a map win for Na'Vi or a map win for 100 Thieves, as this overtime meter might inevitably come in, but no, it's not even needed. That candle is not even lit as Na'Vi take over TTK's playground, and 100 Thieves fall to Na'Vi 2-0.
Jerky being the absolute standout there on the
Well, that was horrible.
That
was horrible.
And I mean, I'm sure we're definitely going to be.
We just got fucking rinsed, dude.
Not potentially just onto the duelist.
It wasn't even close.
Onto the things that strengthen it, right? We got to see things like the save onto the Emma, which comes in absolutely clutch because Jerky gets the projection team up. He gets a Lunar as well for the banjo, so he gets the idle aura plate to be able to do
That's funny, Destiny.
He wants, wherever he wants. He doesn't need LOS from his strategist, and he makes away.
Dude, look at that kill disparity.
Done,
then he had 6 with 6 deaths compared to Trust Me had 31 kills with 6 deaths. TTK had 14.
Yeah, Jerky was the
Terra 15, Delena 18. I mean, everybody on the side of Na'Vi, double-digit kills.
You mentioned it,
20 plus.
has allowed Na'Vi to create so many opportunities to either make space for themselves or forcing 100 Thieves away.
Yeah,
and just that dual wield of utility coming in has been the difference for Na'Vi. Jerky was the
now we have the pleasure of sitting in our pain for another series.
Man, that Emma Frost really just killing all the control for 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be seeing both of those players when we have a look at our highlights of the entire match as a whole. And like you said, that's the smart way that you play it, right? You have an ultimate, which has one way of dealing with it, and then you have another ultimate, which punishes that then way of
we
it,
literally
right?
were just losing like every single team fight.
Stacks and splits is what it is. So stacks is like if you go up against a Psylocke ultimate, you want everybody stacked so you can absorb all of the damages. If you're going up against an Emma ultimate though, unless you have a shield in front of it, you don't want to stack, you want to split so that she's only going to be able to enchant a precious amount of people rather than the entirety of the team. And that's exactly what Na'Vi were getting to take advantage of. Emma ultimate on one side of the map, Psylocke ultimate on the other, both of them getting the value that they were looking for.
The coordination is extremely important as well. But if you want two ultimates to do exactly like you mentioned, one ultimate to punish another and then stack it on top of it.
The boys are off today.
Really been the difference here.
The boys are off.
So unfortunate.
Fate.
But hindsight 2020.
Yeah, maybe Fate should have just committed to it. It looked like he was a little bit half of that, but you know, it is what it is. Na'Vi did come out with a round win as we take a look at the standings after that match.
That's not great. That's not great.
In Group B.
And that means that Thieves are kind of on the chopping block here, right? Because of how competitive Group B is. They were coming in, the first seed coming on from America, but they've also found
after their loss to Citadel,
yes,
I fear that
might
have fucked the chem a little bit.
Very strong teams, but every team in Group B
I feel like that's what happened the last time I watched
them play too. Is incredibly short.
Yeah, no room for errors is probably the name of the game here as we move further and further into this tournament. It is going to be
they absolutely have to beat
this Ignite tournament.
Crazy Raccoon.
Absolutely cinematic as FlyQuest.
Because we still have to play FlyQuest.
But 100 Thieves, Crazy Raccoon, and OUG also putting on a show of their own as Crazy Raccoon and OUG, albeit they still have to look for a win. They have been looking strong in this tournament.
I tell you what, we're all going to be looking, players included, at 100 Thieves versus Crazy Raccoon, because that is the game that's going to be played today. So for 100 Thieves, you now have to reset off of that loss against
Yeah, I mean, if we lose to Crazy Raccoon, you have to beat FlyQuest.
Able to stay within the safety
and they're 2-0 as well,
both
so
of those two teams are going to be looking for that first win. And Crazy Raccoon, oh boy, are their strategies a little bit, as the name would suggest, crazy, because that means that you have to worry about Vital's hero pool as well. But whether or not we'll be seeing more of the Black Widow or more of the Adam or Hela, we'll have to wait and see, as we'll be back with game number 3.
I'm a little worried, if I'm being honest. I'm a little worried. Because we didn't even, like, put up a fight against Na'Vi. Yeah, Steve, the boys don't look great today, unfortunately. Vibes seem off. The vibes seem a little off. Yeah, I mean, it definitely feels that way. It definitely feels that way. Let's rip our player guesser for the day. Get some bread. All right, here we go. Let's go methods. I'm gonna go methods because he's played for a variety of teams. Okay, maybe not as many as I thought. No rings from the US, younger than 28. Okay, let's go. Let's see, let me look at some names here. From the US with no rings, less than 2 championships. Maybe we go... Does Sid have 2 championships? Yeah, the delay was brutal. The delay was brutal. Maybe we go Crimp here? Although he did play for Boston. That's a bad guess. Okay, but played for the Thieves. Okay, now we're on to something. Now we're on to something. No teammates, though. Is it Venom? Is it Venom? No, but they teamed with Venom, so it was that season. Temp? Could it be Temp? Maybe? Yeah, let's go, baby. Yeah. I gained 10 bread. That's it? Bro, those packs are like 400 bread. Those packs are 400 bread. I can't be playing one and getting 10 bread. What are we doing? Okay. At least 5 event wins. At least 25 years old. At least 9 event wins. At least 1 ring. Teamed with King in the CDL. Exactly 0 rings. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, that's tough. I've opened 1. I've opened 1 pack. Okay. Let's see. At least 5 event wins and has teamed with King in the CDL. So who would Arcities count here? Was King technically on the team? Damn, you got a LAT card for that too? I only got a common, I don't even remember who it was. Okay, this one I feel like is gonna piss me off because this is probably gonna be one of those where like they didn't play directly with King, but King is still like on the team. So they're going to say that they teamed with King. Thank you, Destiny. Am I right on that, Destiny? Is it somebody that teamed with King, but they never actually played together? Like they were not technically playing on the roster at the same time? Because that's what I feel like this is. Because King didn't play with anybody that's won 5 events. So this in my mind, I feel like has to be Arcities. I feel like it has to be Arcities. Because who else would it be? Or this has to be Arcities. And this is maybe like Pred. Because what? They picked up... This could also be Priesta, maybe? This might be Priesta as well. Because I'm trying to think who else was on the team. Because they picked up Priesta, Fred, Arcities, and then it was Exnid. So this, in my opinion, has to be either P-Dog or Pred. How many event wins does Pred have, though? Pred doesn't have that many event wins, right? He doesn't have 5 event wins. Because he's won champs, and then he won, was it in Vanguard? He has 3? Yeah, see, so not Pred. So this probably has to be P-Dog. Yeah. This has to be Arcities. Bang. And then how old is Pred? Is Pred 25? Do we know how old Pred is? Is he 25? The ages kill me. Like, well, because if they're adding this year, it would be Celium, right? But I feel like that's... You can't do that. You can't do Celium. Because it says teamed with. Like, they just brought him on. He's 24. Who else did they sign? Teej? Would Teej count? Because they picked up Teej, right? At one point? Did they pick up Teej? Or was that something they were discussing but never did? They did pick up Teej. Teej is 25. He's got to be. Yeah, okay, okay. Yeah, here we go. Okay. At least 5 event wins and at least 1 ring. I mean, here we could go like Prim. I mean, most winningest player of all time. Here, I mean, these ones I feel like are actually pretty easy. Here we go, Clay. Playster. And here we go, Slasher. Okay, now the 0 rings. This is where it gets a little tougher. The 0 rings with this many event wins is where it starts to get a little tough. Exactly 0 rings. This is where I need to think about teams that have been good, but maybe we're not able to get over the hump. Yeah, that's the hard part. I gotta think of like CWL wins. Because when you think about it, 9 event wins is a lot. That's a lot to not have a ring either. 9 event wins is a lot to not have a ring. How many of these, though, are like... So I guess this is my other question. Have all of the players that you can pick, have they all played in the CDL? Like, do they have to have had played in the CDL? Because if it's not from the CDL, right here you could rip a nade shot. At least 9 event wins, nade shot, easy. Easy peasy. Here, I'm thinking Zuma, maybe? Oh, wait, this is the nub. This is the nub, huh? Yeah, the nubbler. The nubbler. My bad, nub. My bad, nub. At least 5 event wins. For this one, I'm thinking Zuma. But I also... The 25 years old. Ripped it, Fran. I think I go Zuma here. Zuma. Absolutely. and then at least 25 years old with no ring. Now I'm just trying to think of a player that's been around for a while. Who's been around for a while but never won a ring? That's what I need to know. Oh, I know, Destiny. I wish the Nub got a ring as well.
Welcome back, everyone, to more Ignite Grand Finals action.
No
we
ring.
are slowly but surely heading into our next match, which arguably could be the match of the day. And
Is
what
Sid
better way than
25?
have myself, along with the caster from Down Under, Matsy, joining us here as we navigate through to our next matchup.
Do we know, is Sid 25?
Combat and cross-regional casting coming at you live right here.
I mean, up until the last 2 years, we could have said Dashy.
One on our hands, don't we, Dan?
Oh, I'm so excited. It arguably could be the match of the day. Citadel up against FlyQuest, a team that we've seen before in the likes of FlyQuest today so far. But Citadel Gaming have been destroying these teams as of now.
Yeah, they've definitely looked to be an impressive squadron, and I'd say the trouble with a lot of teams at the LAN so far is that, you know, they've looked so impressive, but then they've shown a bit of mortality.
Civ is
in some of their
23.
matches. You know, they've been losing maps.
Oh, dude, why is everybody so fucking young?
It's just been unlucky timing for them there. Like, obviously,
why does everybody have to be so young?
Endeavors come through from the likes of Citadel there, so definitely eager to see how things go. You can hear the energy in the back there. Definitely keen to see that energy in game from our teams as well.
Who is 25?
The energy is
25
insane.
plus.
Yeah, all of these teams have been playing so well, especially here in the Group B, as all of these teams really have been surprising us. Really, all of these teams, some of them we expect to play at the highest level, other teams not so much, but they have.
Because like all the older players that I can think of, they like all have rings.
After another.
That's it, you know.
They all have rings.
A lot of pleasant surprises. It's like unwrapping a nice gift, you know. Christmas has come early, so to speak, or maybe trick or treat with some Halloween. But we're going to be seeing some tricks and treats coming through from the likes of Citadel and, of course, their opponent FlyQuest today. And definitely excited to see how they go. But Citadel,
let's
they
see.
have been looking so strong. Just look at the intensity coming through from them right there. You know, this is them focused up before the LAN, and they've got that sheer determination and a focus heading.
There we
into
go.
The LAN
We got
well.
it.
You know,
we
they
cooked.
Have been the favorites.
We cooked.
One of heading into the LAN. They're having a plethora
This
of
one
experience,
is kind of fugazi. I'll be honest. I know I got him, but this one's kind of fugazi.
A lot of veterancy, I'd say, into their role there. But obviously, as a whole.
Wait, is this one only the nub?
See some of the strong
Dude.
reactions coming through from their big victory
yesterday. If this
having a couple of 2-to-1
is
results,
only the nub, the only answer is the nub. That is diabolical work to do to my guy.
Distance, doesn't it?
And now
you're telling me there's no one else that has 9 event wins, but doesn't have a ring?
FlyQuest, who we saw can bleed a little bit on their match against OUG. They were able to secure the series 2-1, but not.
The fact that only 24% of people get this, and 100% of the answer is the nub.
Is a big question mark. Both of these teams are still undefeated here.
Nah, they're doing my man dirty.
Of can FlyQuest take over Citadel, or will
they did enable dirty?
Haunt them back again?
Yeah, we'll see if they are.
This guy is a multi-FPS champion.
So to speak, you know, obviously going to have to deal with the spooky, scary things in that sense, but definitely excited to see what kind of energy they are going to be bringing today.
That's heinous out of
breaking
point
energy, that's
right
one
there.
play to highlight on the FlyQuest side there, but we're taking a look at our maps right now.
That's a good point, Destiny.
Hell's Heaven, a domination.
That's a good point.
Great map. Gives a lot of options for both of these teams. Citadel.
He should coach for a ring because he deserves a ring,
about
dude.
Their picks and bans. They have a playstyle that really benefits them in the current meta of Season 4.5. This is the first.
You could argue he deserves back-to-back rings.
Teams play out in this new season, and so
like,
far,
not only does he deserve one ring, but he deserves back-to-back.
Very well. But Citadel, we argue, do have that upper hand at the moment.
Yeah, like, it feels like they just have a bit of an edge coming into it, don't they? You know, it feels like they're a bit more focused. Their adaptability
that
towards
MB
the meta
team
has just been impressive.
Like
they're the
World
team
War
to
II
kind of set the benchmark. So
shouldn't have even gotten
them and obviously
gotten
VP
to the finals.
On the other side of the groups.
Optic
there.
fucking
really
showed
been the benchmark for Yeah,
Optic
the squadrons
choked.
on either side of the group, so very eager to see if they are going to be able to take another impressive series here. Obviously, FlyQuest have been looking a bit more mortal, but let's see some of that mortality come into play into the
Black
drive
Ops
right now.
4,
We already got a couple of strategists saying goodbye.
Thieves had the craziest lose bracket run of all time.
It's going to be a one-sided Mantis pick in the likes of FlyQuest.
And they just had to face off against
damage boost and try
fucking
to take full advantage
Prime
of it,
Simp.
Whereas Citadel do take out the Loki,
Prime Simp and
Warlock,
Abizi,
who have been really, really strong hitters during these domination kinds of maps. And now Citadel,
like Thieves were the best team in the game in Black Ops 4,
that we've been seeing.
And
if one team saves the Jeff, the other picks the Mantis.
man, I feel bad for the nub, dude.
Looking good here as Citadel. Also,
at least Ken and Octane got theirs, but
yeah,
I was hoping the Thieves were gonna run it back with CDL, and honestly, I think this could be a hot take, but I think if the Thieves ran it back going into the CDL, there's a good chance,
so to speak. Yeah, love it. But we're going to be seeing Adam take it away, so not going to be able to play as heavy into the
although it did go to online, so
hopefully we get to see that emo come in, right?
Maybe not. Because online COD, like Chalked Ken.
That would be so adorable to see on the
online
stage,
COD is like
now we do have
is Ken's arch
into
nemesis.
the picks and bans, and it looks like FlyQuest were able to secure the Jeff in the end. It looks like Citadel didn't really
I mean,
much of a deal to
fucking
take
Modern Warfare
Octane
was disgusting, dude. You give him some people around him,
really has been
and that's a whole different ball game.
The options get limited.
I think Priesta was still good at that point.
And that quite literally denies FlyQuest from that Hella Namor composition.
Yeah, they've been playing into that
yeah,
pretty commonly,
Kenny, obviously.
Like, it feels like they're one of the only teams at
Slasher.
the that's kind of been putting a bit of focus around that. I feel like the other teams have shied away from it.
The nub, but the nub kind of gave up after back-to-back champs losses. I think he kind of chalked it up. He said, "Fuck it."
We'll see
do I prefer 4v4 or 5v5?
Domination here. Map number 1, Hell's Heaven. We are going to be
I think
in
like
right now. Both teams going to be primed up, ready for action, right around the corner.
Hell's Heaven, also a map with a lot of moving
like
elements.
viewership-wise,
up and down, some of them going side
I feel
to
like
side.
5v5
so
can be fun to watch.
This is the one where things are moving.
So I do kind of like that part of it. But I think COD just makes sense being 4v4. I think the upside of 5v5 as well is you get more people in the league. So that's kind of cool, but
get some environmental knockouts.
I think.
Yeah, we love to see a bit of Angela action.
I also like the other reason I like 5v5 is because you're more likely to have multiple gun metas. Like I feel like with 5v5 you're more likely to have a 3-gun meta than you are if you have 4v4. It's a lot harder to have a 3-gun meta in 4v4. I feel like.
Some pretty similar plays from Caps, but here we go.
Need
upper deck to do a favor and do hired guns, Octane, Kenny, and draws. That would be fire.
Combined with Melio, who will just try to dive right on in. Vez does take the opening knockout.
That would be
not
fire.
Until Polly takes out Cooper and sends them right down to the abyss as Enzo does come back next to the BRB. FlyQuest are down a man, but looks like Citadel are crumbling to their demise as FlyQuest looking to take control early as Enzo and Energy both trading back and forth.
Very
and
little,
so far it has been a dead even fight.
Upper deck cards.
That's it, a bit of a
the fact that you get a lot of really good upper deck cards from like actual boxes is crazy to me because I feel like the only time I've seen people get like really good stuff is from the like the E packs.
Things could change though.
Which I don't like the E-Packs. I think the E-Packs are stupid, in my opinion.
But Elio going down is a great start from Energy.
Energy does find the pick. Elio does come back.
I think,
but
like,
Vess will
I just don't understand the E-Packs.
During that skirmish.
I mean, I guess you can like get your cards, but I'm like, just release boxes, bro. Like, just release boxes of cards and
the fellow Mantis on FlyQuest, but it looks to be
I'm not gonna show off to my friends a picture of a card, bro. Like, I want the physical card.
Yeah, still
I don't know if that's just me. If anybody feels the same way.
Wiped out there on the Citadel side.
I don't like the E-Pack stuff.
Building up a bit of early percentage, and SparkChief looking to lead the charge on that Vanguard there. It's great that they can rely on Fez.
Like if I'm opening packs, I want to physically open packs.
Up nicely on towards
I don't want to click on something and then, oh hey, here's the card you got.
Over around the side. Spark has been spotted, and Energy wanted the same.
Spark and Vest have their ultimates available, so does Vision.
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
Themselves as well. Here comes the CYA, the Cosmic Yard.
To me, those are just kind of dumb.
As Vision and SparkChief look to go for the Wombo combo, but the sea of blue on the feed in favor of Citadel.
Whoa.
Oh my god, what a Jeff from Vision. He saw the angle, he saw the opportunity, and he swallows up the rest of Citadel. And it's all but two, but somehow, some way, Citadel were able to take over, not until FlyQuest opened up the portal to try to regain the control. They so
I didn't even know you had to pay to get the card too. I thought if you open the card, you can just request to have it be sent to you. Well, I guess you would maybe have to pay for shipping.
It ain't going to have the impact that we're seeking there, so they are going to have to take
I don't know. I haven't really like looked too much into the E-Packs because, like I said, I think they're dumb. I think they're silly.
And already they found an opening engagement.
That's my take of the day.
Oh my gosh, the skewer!
No, Polly barely escapes there. That got hot.
Oh my gosh, that got really, really hot indeed. So close to the fire, but the flames do not consume him as the overtime meter comes into fruition. FlyQuest,
you gotta pay?
We're able to retake the site, but the Soul Resurgence might be sealing the deal here as Citadel don't have a strategist ultimate of their own. Enzo, as a desperation ploy, will use the Galactic Legend, but it's all for naught as FlyQuest, off a heroic Jeff ultimate from Vision, will take over map number 1.
My goodness, blink and you'll miss it. They will fly away with the Super Soldier Factory and move on to the Eldritch Monument. So, another map of revolving doors, so to speak, you know, evolving platforms, and eager to see how they will be able to take it high or low and move up with the flow.
Whole lot of verticality available
for
that's
both
weird. These teams, especially with Polly and SparkChief, both players on the Angela are able to take full advantage of it. Tanuki as well on that Daredevil. Oh,
or regular cards can make an S tier. Yeah, see, like I don't really understand all that either.
They'll look to make here as Bucky, a very, very strong pick, is a very well-rounded pickup for Citadel.
I don't really get that part of it
never go wrong
either.
with that Bucky.
That's it. You can never go wrong. You can always go again. And let's see how they run it down into the push right now. Mission area unlock in 30. And we're going to see if they can keep things clean. Don't want to get dirty in this one. They are going to be swooping their way over to the mission area, looking to take it from afar. Good to rely on the clones into this one so they can get a decent amount of healing through while the squad looks to take it up to the sides, take the high ground here. FlyQuest are already aware of it.
FlyQuest took round 1 here.
It's Jeff available again from Vision.
It's Jeff available on Vision.
Jake got that bag. He had like 10 boxes on deck for his videos. Damn.
Ultimate. But can he do
I don't think I've seen all of his box
There is a chance
videos.
for an environmental knockout available for both of these teams as Citadel and FlyQuest look to scrap it
I did
out
my
in the
live
middle of the
box
site
opening, but
as Vision
the video didn't
comes
do very
out
well,
with
so.
3. Vision, how in the world
like
do
financially
you pull
I can't
this
afford
off
to
again and again? He sends 3 to the abyss
get more
as everyone on Citadel
like to
follows
get more
suit.
boxes
This
as much as I would like
of
to.
Citadel falls and crumbles right off the get-go.
Yeah, I love the environment.
I'm trying to get that bag too.
From SparkChief at the end of that as well. Just, you know,
I'm trying to get that bag as well.
Coming through there. So that's going to be a great way to elevate themselves onto the mission area control. And
I need to start selling some more Juvees.
You know, they got the Groot they can rely on. Melio can bring out some of the clones as well with Enzo there and the team up. So they've got options here. They've got a few ultimates as well, but we'll see who's going to start to pop the weasel first.
Got to start selling more Juvees and
Polly and Tanuki. The strangling prison into the edge Jeff could be devastating for FlyQuest.
We got to get into the
but it's a matter of when they pull the trigger. Zelos and Alex will form a Venn diagram onto the site as Energy takes this guys, tries to find a pick, but can FlyQuest make the hold happen? The point already halfway into their favor. Already 1 map ahead. Citadel have a lot of work to do, but they
also just need to make more videos.
But Polly does go down. Enzo
the problem is I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, I don't really know
to
what
pull the
videos
trigger
to make.
on that Wombo combo.
Yeah, Yeah, great to hold on there for the sake of the alt economy, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do
soon, though,
more cards. The problem is they're going to be like 2 years late. They always,
ahead of them, but
like the first ever cards I got, I think it was in like 2023, but they were from the 2020-2021 season. So it's like the cards are always like 2 years late, and I don't understand that. I get being like a year late maybe, but you're 2 years behind, dude.
Maybe go even further beyond.
They're waiting for Melio to make the rotation happen. It looked like Citadel were looking for a high ground advantage, but they were just all but waiting for Melio to strike first, and that allows Poly and the rest of Citadel to try to flood onto the
like
side.
by the time you can have the cards,
the overtime meter comes
every
into
player
fruition.
on your
Poly
favorite team,
does find the opening onto
it's 2 years
Sparky
late, and now those players are not on your favorite team anymore.
One member of FlyQuest as Tanuki will just settle with that trade as the rest of the fight continues to rage on as Vision finds the two vanguards of Citadel, and they are sent straight down 60 feet under as FlyQuest look to pick up the pieces, but it's still an even trade overall.
Dude, the Jeff ult has got to be like the most annoying ult to
somehow
play against.
got in control.
I've seen Jeff spit like 8 people off the map already.
See if they are going to be wired in. Alex keeping them up with the barrier as well. Looking to see if the boundary is going to be maintained.
And that's from both teams.
It's time for the Psionics deduction. Enzo trying to zone them out. They're taking a ton of damage, but they will be pumped straight back up. So nobody going down without a fight here. And the fight is raging on.
Fight raging on indeed. Citadel look to build up the castle that already crumbled in the beginning stages of this round as Zelos shuts down Poly. A man advantage in favor of FlyQuest. No resurrections, no resources available for Poly, Enzo, or Tanuki to come back into the fight to regroup as overtime comes up yet again, but this time in favor of FlyQuest, and everyone on Citadel cannot find an option in.
Damn, FlyQuest with a quick 2-0.
Take over round number 2.
Yeah,
and
this is a little concerning for the Thieves because they just beat up Citadel, and Citadel made us not look great late in the series.
Coming through from the FlyQuest side there. Vision's taking the MVP. I mean,
well deserved.
It's just well deserved. Jaws incarnate on that one. Like, take a bow on the Jeff action there. I would be expecting that one to have a heavier focus coming into the next draft if I were them, but who knows?
There's a reason why FlyQuest decided to save that Jeff. Holy crap, Vision. I don't think we've seen Jeff play this insane here in the Grand Finals yet until now.
Dude.
That was some insane plays.
And he got at least like 7 of them from spitting people off the map.
Down into the pits of hell.
That's ridiculous, dude. I'd crash out. I'd throw my mouse
right now.
Yeah, they've got all the Vision, all online, all day. You know, 11 finals into that one.
Jeff, dead ass, Steve.
Like,
that's insane. I'd crash out.
Vanguard as well. You know, Citadel, it just felt like they
I see why everybody hated Jeff at the start of the game. Everybody was like, "Oh, Jeff's so cute," and then everybody's like, "Fuck this little shark."
Difficult time, to say the least, for them. So, keen to see what the adaptation looks like into the next portion.
Yeah, FlyQuest easily take over map number 1, but now map number 2, Citadel obviously have the map pick advantage, and that becomes a playing factor here as some of these teams have maps that favor them.
The way they pick maps is interesting to me.
Now we head into
that it's like if you win map 1,
what in the world just
the other team picks map 2.
Well, they let the devil out in 2 ways, I suppose, but we will see just some of that combat coming through, you know, the Angela action, but mostly it was the Jeff show into this one. Environment
right
Look at him!
All day long.
That was at least 4 right there.
What a play. He saw the opportunity. He saw everyone available for consumption, and just like that, the jaws
spitting out the allies and then just fucking taking them down, bro.
And,
oh my
quite
god.
comfortably, FlyQuest really just steamrolled over Citadel, who we've been touting them as one of the smarter teams in this entire tournament. They were able to adjust to what's been played, what's been picked, and we're just able to somewhat innovate.
I feel like it's even worse when the Jeff just like jumps too.
That's it. You know, I feel like all the teams here
he's like,
kind of adapting
yeah,
on the
I'll
fly.
respawn.
They're figuring out their mojo, figuring out what's
like
working
that's
well
got to
for
be
them
even
into
worse
this
than
meta.
just like
And,
spitting
you know, like we've
spitting
seen
them out.
FlyQuest try and play into the Hell in a More team.
It's
up
like, no,
there.
I have so many of
Everybody's
you. I'm
opting
just gonna
into
kill
that, but
myself too in
definitely
game.
excited to see what else is going to be in store right on the other side of this.
Yep, FlyQuest are in a commanding position, but do Citadel go back to the drawing board? Do they cook up something new of their own? We'll find out after we come back for Citadel versus FlyQuest.
You team killed a team. Dude, I mean, that's just like ridiculous because there's no way out. There's like no way out. I mean, if you have enough people, it makes sense to not spit them out because you're, you know, at that point like that, it was 4 people. It's a 4-to-1 trade. I mean, that's pretty smart. Especially if you're getting the other team's healers. Just absolutely chalk them. Chalk it up. Chalk it up. I feel like whenever I watch the Thieves, they, at least for rivals, it's like they'll be doing really good, and then I watch them, and then all of a sudden it's like they don't know how to play anymore. Because every time I'm not watching the rivals team, I'm always seeing updates of like, oh, Marvel Rivals, they're back in form, they're beating everybody. And then it's like I start watching them again, and then they start losing, and I'm like, dude, I didn't watch them for how long, and then all of a sudden I start to watch, and they don't look the same. I was feeling good too because I was like, they beat OUG like convincingly. And OUG put up a fight against a couple other top teams. I mean, 2-1 against FlyQuest. And then I forget who else it was that they played the other day or yesterday. But they battled against them too.
And you're watching Marvel Rivals Grand Finals.
Welcome back to that Grand Finals. You just saw a glimpse of FlyQuest there, who did take over Hell's Heaven like we saw just now off the heroics of Vision, most notably. Who knew that a shark could be this impactful in this kind of environment?
Yeah, I think Jaws has a new competitor there. You know, Jeff, I think, is the real shark in town, and definitely keen to see more Jeff action through to the rest of the series as well. I think that there's going to be a lot of potential, you know, on what could be on the horizon here. You know, we could see a bit of convergence. I know teams have tended to play into that direction. You know, a bit of Central Park has been pretty commonly played over towards map 2 here, but I mean, wouldn't surprise me if maybe they wanted.
There's a lot more maps now.
Direction on
I feel like than there were
path, the one we could see
when I was watching last.
Oh, look at that! you willed it into existence. Yggdrasil path. And
oh my goodness! I'm just magic. Call me Dr. Strange.
You got away with words. You were able to say it loud enough for the people in the back to hear it. And now it seems like, yeah, FlyQuest will have to take on Citadel at Yggdrasil Path, a map that is very, very comfortable for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, I think it's got to be, I guess, one of the default convoys, right? A lot of teams that like to play in Yggdrasil Path. It's pretty smooth. There's a lot of nooks
I have found fidgeting with a deck of cards is satisfying.
Online already, and unsurprisingly, Jeff is gone. But so too is Mantis, so I'm not going to get the damage amplification there.
The only problem is I don't know Magic, so like my fidgeting is essentially just shuffling the cards over and over again. It's not doing like anything cool with the cards.
Now it looks like we've just reverted back to what we've been seeing.
I'm not doing like the shit where I'm popping,
one team picks Mantis,
popping a card up and catching it, or like popping it up and it lands on the deck.
Draft, whereas Citadel denied the resurrection capability on FlyQuest.
Yeah, not going to allow that in any way, shape, or form. They still can play into Rocket if they want to, but will they? I don't know about that. But another band is going to be on a line right now from a Citadel, and curious to see where they take it this time. Will they shut down another Vanguard? Will it be another strategist taken out of the mix here? You know, they still do have access to potentially take away something like, there you go, the Groot. So not going to be able to play into the walls this time.
Yep, Vess really is one of the best Vanguards we have seen so far on the biggest stage. Funny enough, I've touched up on this a little bit back when they played their first match. Vess is actually from Atlanta. He's literally from this area, so come playoffs, if FlyQuest are able to qualify into that knockout stage, he is going to have a huge crowd behind not just him, but his fellow teammates on the likes of FlyQuest. As the draft does finally conclude, FlyQuest saving the Loki Mantis, a great stall combination in favor of FlyQuest, whereas on the side of Citadel, they went towards the Jeff and Emma Frost again.
Yeah, they've got that on play, and they also were hovering over Storm, so we could see Jeff NATO to try and rip it through FlyQuest's defense here. You know, I can definitely understand it, especially if they were thinking maybe they were trying to play into something of the Iron Fortress, if you will, you know, the triple there, but obviously not going to see the light of day at this time. We're seeing the 3-2-1 composition come through from FlyQuest at this
Game
time.
2
so you're gonna see
for FlyQuest in Citadel
will fare against the defense of FlyQuest, because they're playing into the Punisher, which definitely brings a lot of damage. That final judgment is something that you can rely upon. But
do we think FlyQuest takes this 2-0, or does Citadel get a map here?
If that comes into play, I am all for it, because we've seen Iron Fist doing some serious work, especially in that match back on OUG versus FlyQuest, and it looks like Citadel might have taken a page out of OUG's playbook, as we will see the push come in for Citadel. Can they make it towards that chicane, or will FlyQuest boot them right out?
That's it, bringing out Kunlun's finest there to Nuki. Gonna be looking to bring out the fighting fist, the fighting words for their team, and we'll see if they are going to be able to capture something for them. Right now, FlyQuest just waiting.
Hope they fight back and get a map.
Ooh, diving into the back line. See if
I mean,
they focus up on the strategist, take out some of those
for
there to minimize
the sake of watching Marvel Rivals, I would agree. But for getting to the next Thieves match,
but energy is also close
I
to
want
the
FlyQuest to win so we can get to the next Thieves match.
Polly, Spark Chief, all following.
But it's also very concerning if FlyQuest wins 2-0,
but energy does come
we
back
have
thanks
to
to the
play
BRB, and Citadel are down 2
tomorrow.
members as the invisible boundary going to be popped by Alex, who is going to
Steve,
be
you're thinking a
2-0 with a God of Mischief stolen Soul Resurgence from Cooper.
Think
and now
FlyQuest is just like that?
Taking on over yet again. Vess will extend that lead.
Yeah, great response coming through there, just getting that amplification through for their team, and they managed to push away a Citadel into this one, so already seeing a bit of a change up to Nuki onto Starlord. Could be great for them here. I like how Polly has the Strangling Prison available as well, cracking impact there, but it's going to be FlyQuest to pop first. Double Strategist ultimate into this one of the safe for Citadel. They are looking to take aim, but it's Spark Chief to claim 2.
Spark Chief with the tendrils is able to strangle what is left of Citadel. With that, thanks to the CYA coming in from Vision, the 40% damage boost is absolutely devastating, and FlyQuest will take full advantage as Spark Chief finds one more for good measure and will stagger Citadel even further. And now Citadel, they've made so many adjustments already. What more do they have in them?
Yeah, they're just trying everything at this point. With the Galactic Legend, it does relegate them into the dark room there, but the Meteor would be good as well.
Tanuki.
He's trapped.
Not going to be able to get through it today.
He's trapped.
And Events goes down in the meantime, so Citadel
he was boxed like a fish.
Making FlyQuest feel a bit more mortal here. They are pushing it through straight towards the first checkpoint.
Vest has switched over to the Strange, is going to try to find a portal in the nick of time, is going to cancel it immediately and will reposition over to the next spawn room and go right back to the Magneto. FlyQuest will not be able to secure a first point, but they were able to burn a lot of time on that clock, which is really the goal of these defensive rounds. Although FlyQuest didn't go for the triple Vanguard, triple strategist composition, they still did.
I feel like Citadel has pretty good time here on the second portion.
Yeah, they gave it their best here to see if they could keep them out of this one, but ultimately they do get it over the line in the end. So they found a recipe that works, and we'll see if it's going to work once again. Already relying upon the BRB there to keep spark in the game, and energy going to be bringing the Ensong Inferno, now playing into the invisible boundary as well. It's going to be responded now with their own boundary, strangling prison here, and everything else is coming online as well. So it's Jeff gets at least one of them. It's going to be big impact finding the Magneto. They are looking to take him on a nice trip off map.
Oh, looks like the frag didn't come in yet. Yep, there we go.
Okay, he did get it. It didn't look like he was going to get it for a second there.
In the end, it's only just Vest going down. Citadel lost 2 members during that entire skirmish, so a lot of ultimates, a lot of resources used on the side of FlyQuest, but Zelos still has that Soul Resurgence, where on the flip side, no one on Citadel really
my
have
ADHD is really kicking in
so it's
today.
all up to
I'll be
Melio and
honest with you.
Tanuki to just try to use their ultimates.
It's really kicking in.
I think that they can play into that though, Enzo having the Psionic Seduction around the corner definitely will help, especially with the Galactic Legend there. They can pump up a lot of damage there if they need to. They can rely on the Kraken Impact, so there's pieces that they can play off of. As you can see, Psionic Seduction already coming now, Soul Resurgence in response, but at least they might be able to push past this one eventually. You know, they're just countering each other, complementing each other accordingly. But there you go, Galactic Legend into the Ensong Inferno.
Damn, she just slammed it
as well. Ken might get a good catch out of this.
Another quick 2 picks in favor of FlyQuest, make it 3 as half of Citadel crumble yet again as Ken does swallow up 1, but it's just going to be a 1v1, but a great sleep coming in from Zelos and will seal the deal. Lights out for Ken as Citadel have to go yet again to that drawing board.
Yeah, love that response for the Sedate there. Just really turns the tides on them, staggers them out. So it's going to be great for FlyQuest to just stall a bit more time here, and 1.5 minutes to go onto this one. And there's going to be more fights to come.
Bro, that's a dope Venom skin too. Rivals has some cool skins for the characters.
Citadel, they're getting closer and closer. They may lose a strategist if they're not careful.
I still don't understand why Valorant hasn't done skins for their characters.
Is that the damage combo? Yes, it is. There it is. It's the CYA with the Feast of the Abyss, and Spark Chief with his fellow Rocket will say CYA to Alex as that one-shot potential comes in to fruition. But Citadel, they still have that man advantage and will move on forward. Melio jumps right up to try to shut down Spark Chief before he's able to do any sort of damage, but he's just going to use it to try to move on forward.
Like Valorant could have some really cool
FlyQuest, but
character
now
skins.
The push comes
I
in.
feel
Energy
like
uses the portal to try to come in and try to disrupt what is left of Citadel. So close to that second point as Enzo pops that Silent Seduction, and that will start the domino effect of ultimates being dumped right in. FlyQuest, how much do you use?
They could do like weapon
to give up?
and
How much
character
control
skin bundles.
are you willing to use to seize what is left of Citadel? Will the fortress stand tall, or will they crumble? Tanuki wants to write that legend for himself. Everyone staring right at him, but the eye of Agamotto stuns up 3. Will take 1, but Polly, with that Strangling Prison available, is not going to be able to use it. But FlyQuest don't have many cooldowns to work with unless Vision is able to find that CYA in time. But Melio, does he find any sort of opportunity to come right back? No, it's going to be Vision coming in with that bonus HP.
They have their own Seer online now. Enzo had the Silent Seduction, but it's going to be zoned out entirely by Vision.
It's looking like that's as far as Citadel's going to get.
The FlyQuest squad here. OT Timer is running its course. The portal's up, but they set sail through. And what a hold coming out there. FlyQuest just so impressive.
Yeah,
in the
Drifty,
initial stage here.
FlyQuest are looking to just
honestly,
set
we got
right now.
pretty bad.
They lost a map to OUG. It could
we
have been
were
a little
losing
bit of a
most of
call,
the
you
team
could say,
fights
when they had to just witness OUG just run rampant over FlyQuest, but now FlyQuest look to be ready.
Like,
the warm-up is over.
I feel like
and now
90% of the team fights we lost.
Round. Citadel now on the defensive side. FlyQuest
is not the best of
offense.
showings.
Citadel looking to lean more on the triple Vanguard, triple strategist combination. We'll see.
And it puts a lot of pressure
later, but right now
puts a lot of pressure on the Thieves.
Just in a commanding position. Can Citadel hold? Can they stand tall here
to win their next match
difficult for them.
after this against Crazy Raccoon, because they're kind of on the chopping block? Apparently it was expected because all the meta changes. Really? I guess I didn't realize there was meta changes.
It's going to be interesting to see if maybe Citadel are feeling it more on the defensive side, obviously trying to play into the 3-2-1 as well initially, so you're going to see.
I mean, I have not been up to date on
FlyQuest maybe looking to
these matches, so or on Marvel Rivals, I should say, just as a whole.
Like it's just going to be 2-2-2 stock standard. We ain't playing Spider-Man, not today, maybe later, but let's jump straight into it.
Yeah, so far Spark Chief has been an absolute nuisance for Citadel. Citadel really even adjusted towards Tanuki on the Jeff, Alex on the Invisible Woman to try to deny any sort of push coming in from Spark Chief, who has just been terrorizing the backline of Citadel. And here it looks to be no different as Tanuki gets taken out early, and they're on the defensive side. So this Jeff really needs to start.
Seemed like FlyQuest kind of just took a ton of space there.
Of extra time for the Man Advantage to come dead even yet again.
Yeah, they just have to bide their time at this point and see if they can pick things up where they left off. Sparkle looking around the back already, trying to see if they can take away.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's kind of just how, especially like games like this work.
Boundary coming up from Alex there,
like,
so they can at least respond. But
they'll do meta changes at like the worst possible times.
Bad news for
and if you're not able to like adapt, it kind of
they're looking to not stop at all. A man advantage in favor of FlyQuest. They lose Spark Chief, but it all seems like Spark
Steve,
Chief
they played a 3 support.
What a shot coming in from Energy
in their first match.
Enzo, who just burned the eye of Agamotto. Will the portal come in time? We'll see about that. But Citadel looking to try to make a retake happen.
Navi
with
didn't.
The staggers, with the picks
and we were getting smoked. And I was like, dude, we have 3 healers. How are we losing?
The Jeff comes in and swallows up 3 members of FlyQuest. Can Tanuki get to the edge in time? It looks like the answer will be yes.
So
but
I don't know.
Like no one going down.
Yeah, apparently the 3
from Tanuki to
3 healers is not the move.
His
which
own life and Citadel.
The thing that I don't really understand with games like this
sending half of the members away leaves the other half
sometimes
in a very
I feel like it would make more sense to just play what you're good with. It doesn't matter if that's quote unquote meta or not. Because if you have something you're comfortable with and you're talented enough to play that way, sure, the meta might be one thing, but I feel like you might be able to do better than the meta, if that makes sense. I don't know.
Cooper's ready as well. Meteor coming down. They are committing everything.
Like I get in some sense that certain characters are just straight up better, they're just stronger than other characters. So it makes sense to use the characters that are stronger. But I also feel like if you're
now here comes the test.
Really good with certain
characters, have to go towards that second point. They can go a little bit shorter, and they will seal themselves the map. But can Citadel find their footing, find their way back in? Enzo does have the eye of Agamotto.
I just don't see why you wouldn't even like try to do that instead of just like falling into a meta that you're not used to playing or that you're not very good at. I think of it as like you're better off playing out of meta, but playing what you're best at, because you're going to be be more impactful for the team because you're playing at your best. So like if you're playing somebody that you're not great with or you don't usually play as because it's meta, you're naturally not going to play as good as you could.
Members, but it looks like it's not going to provide too much value as Tanuki already in the thick of it. Here comes the gauntlet slam from Melio, is able to find Vest. Can Citadel hold? Can they try to deny FlyQuest from a map to win as that point gets so close, but it's not quite enough.
Dude, it's so close, but FlyQuest has 2 minutes to work with.
Play a disciplined move, will quickly fall back, regroup, try
they
to
have
find
a lot
a
of time to work with
to this defense that Citadel are trying to desperately make and hold.
Yeah, it's cutting it close, isn't it? But now FlyQuest with 4 ultimates may yet be looking to force their way through. They've only got a couple of strategist ultimates to deal with on Citadel side, and they've already found Enzo. That is a great way to push their way in. Polly going to be the only one up front. Tanuki's down.
No.
They're looking so much more mortal. Alex
looking
is
like
in
a
trouble. Has the boundary
GG's.
up to keep them online a while longer. One and the same. Ken can continue the chain there. The boop comes through. Melio's down, and it's another boundary into the Kraken Impact. They are trying to send this one through.
Oh my God, he stalled
as well. They're back.
Polly was able to just stall for just enough time for the rest of Citadel to just try and find a way to make the defense happen. But FlyQuest, they have so much time to work with, a whole minute and 20. But can FlyQuest make the push happen? Citadel, it's getting intense for them. Things are getting stressful, but the time runs slow. No one able to touch onto the site.
FlyQuest look pretty good right there.
FlyQuest fly high yet again.
Oh my goodness.
That's a little concerning for tomorrow.
Take it away in a sweep there.
I'll be honest, a little concerning for tomorrow for the Thieves.
Against Citadel and sending them packing out of this series.
One of the more faster series here is FlyQuest has just been absolutely dominant here. Despite having their main bread and butter composition, the Hela Namor team up not being available to them, FlyQuest, they proved to the rest of the world that, okay, you could take away the Namor, you could take away the Hela, but we can do other things. So, FlyQuest, the depth is really
a lot of these games have felt like pretty one-sided,
aren't they? You know, you think you're taking away some of their
for the most part. I mean, I get that it's only a best of 3, so maybe it's a little harder to kind of like battle back, but
to be such an adaptable roster, like I said there, and
I feel like these have felt pretty one-sided
You know, they had a lot
so
of
far.
mortality into some of their last series. They were losing maps where maybe they shouldn't, but now they're back on track. They've taken that one in a good way.
They're so locked in right now as we head into a highlight reel of what in the world just happened here on Yggdrasil Path. And not only that, in Hell's Heaven as well, just a series as a whole. It felt like one of the more faster ones here in this Group B matchup. We touted this as the match of the day, but somehow, some way, it was just Citadel not being able to find their footing, not being able to find a way onto any of these maps as they just kept slipping and falling into the pits. Thanks to Vision back in map 1, and then in map number 2, they just kept on sliding all over the place and were just not able to get any sort of control going, albeit by some very labored effort.
Oh yeah, it was quite the strenuous series, wasn't it? And they definitely had a lot of issues to deal with there. One in the same, you know, Spark Chief was such a menace over the backline. They just could not afford to not look behind them because Spark was always there when they least expected it.
Yeah, this in the first map, it was all Vision doing all the heavy lifting and the heavy dropping, if you could think of it that way. But Aaron, map number 2 on Yggdrasil Path, Spark Chief was the main star of the show as we look ahead in the standings. FlyQuest now 3-0.
Dude, FlyQuest is looking pretty scary.
That's it. 2 undefeated teams in this group right now. That's Na'Vi and FlyQuest. That is all going to be changing, evolving over the next few days here. So eager to see which teams will be able to come out on top on the end of the group stage, which teams will be sent packing. It's all going to be make or break for these rosters at this point of the game.
Yeah, today is day 2. We still have day 3. So much unknowns right now as things start to heat up. The battle is starting to ignite even
Thieves have Crazy Raccoon coming up next.
Raccoons and 100 Thieves will be the highlight for our next match.
I mean, this is a big time match.
We'll be back for more Marvel Rivals action.
Yeah, that makes sense, Steve. That makes sense. Let's look at our daily games here. I want to do that Hexel. That one, I kind of fuck with that one. Excuse me. All right, so we're trying to figure out the hex code of the daily color. Okay, 0's in the right spot. So this is our color, I think. This is the other color. Oh, okay. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere already. So let's go maybe B4, 8, 0, 9. Oh, okay. We're on to something here. We're on to something here. E4, 8, 3, 0, 7. Oh. Okay, E4, 8. Oh. 0, 0. E4. Is it just triple zeros, bro? Honestly, Destiny, it kind of is, because I don't know how hex codes work. I've used all the... Is it just triple zeros? There's no way, right? Okay, so the 3 was pretty close, but the 4 is pretty close too. Or the 0 is pretty close, I mean. So I feel like the 0, the triple zeros kind of makes sense here. Dude, I knew it was the 4, bro. I knew it was the 4. The thing that I don't like about this is that, like, there's multiple of something almost every time. That's what I don't like about it. What was the other one I did? I did the math one. I think Nerdle it was. I'm really bad at math though. Is it not updated yet? I did this shit yesterday, bro. Next puzzle's in 4 hours. Okay, well, chalk that one up, huh? Whoa. Whoa, there's a lot of games here. Wow. I don't know. Video games, maybe? Minecraftal? Oh, interesting, interesting. Oh. Let's go diamond pickaxe, huh? Let's go diamond pickaxe. So does this mean nothing? None of those were right? Fire. Is there not a way to like drag it? Oh, okay. Yikes. Yikes, chat. This is not a good start. What are some of the things you can make with the string and stuff? I don't know what you can make with that. Yeah, but I can't do a stick. I can't do a stick. That's the problem. The other match, yes.
Welcome to an exclusive little interview here with Crazy Raccoon.
How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, we're feeling great.
Yeah.
If you could describe your team's identity in a single word, what would it be?
I'd say fast. Yeah.
I don't like how I have to do that. That's kind of annoying.
Has there been any
bowl.
team that you've been really keeping an eye out for?
좀 다 센 팀이라 좀 무섭긴 한데 개인적으로 해보고 싶은 팀은 버터스 프로랑 해보고 싶고.
Oh, I got it. It's just a bowl.
만나서 꼭 이기고 싶은 팀은 이제 뭐 북미 유럽 그냥 다 이기고 싶네요.
It's 2011 against Shark Crafting.
뭐 다른 팀도
Let's go.
똑같이 뭐 저희 아시아가
We
좀
did it.
약하다고 생각하는데
Minecraft.
최대한 특히 막 중압감 그런 건 없고 최대한 고춧가루 뿌리고 가겠습니다. 그게 제 각오입니다.
Was there a reason why Crazy Raccoon wanted an American duelist?
The player pool in Asia is like pretty
Let's
small,
see.
right? And like sometimes you
Are
you
there
do have to look
any
elsewhere.
other games
I
that
was personally pretty comfortable playing on
I
ping
would
in like
know?
the weird time zones.
Maybe
Everyone was
Street
speaking
Fighter?
a little bit of English before I joined, I believe.
Maybe
so
Street
I saw them
Fighter?
doing pretty well, and you know we're learning a little bit every day.
Yeah.
The true leaders in our team are Blaster and JMac.
사실 여왕원 때는 저희가 이제 재미로 대회를 나간 거라
Let's go.
좀 진지하게 임하진 않았는데 이제 라쿤에서는 이제 팀이다 보니까 이제 다 열심히 하고 이제
Status alive.
그냥 분위기가
Alignment good. Fighting style correct. Okay, I might be cooked because I don't know any of this shit.
Sid Stage 1. what feels different about the team when you
First game was not Street Fighter.
저희 팀
Or
같은 경우에는 이제 그 시즌 1
newer
때는
game than that.
사실 거의 이제 아마추어 선수로만 이루어져 있었고
Answer is from an older game. From older than Street Fighter 6.
다른 이제 아시아 팀 젠지나 리젝트 같은
Let's
경우에는 되게
go.
맵을 와서 우승을 했거나 아니면 다른 게임에서 잘했던 선수들로 이루어져 있었는데
Was M Bison in
그런 선수들이 아니었어서
Oh, it's not a male though.
이번에 증명하게 된 게 정말 기쁘고 그리고 또 시즌 1 때 저의 부족함이랑 여러 팀적으로의 부족함을 많이 느껴서
They're not
또
good.
시즌 2에
I don't know who the evil
많이 하고
women are in this
좋은 선수들이
in
저희
Street
팀을
Fighter.
믿고 와줘서
I
우승까지
don't
하고
know any of the
미국까지 올 수 있던 게 정말 기쁜 것 같습니다.
Thank you guys so much for joining us, Crazy Raccoon. I think that'll be it for us for this interview. Be sure to check out Crazy Raccoon, and we will see them ignite the battlefield.
Which ones have what it takes to become the best of the best?
The fight is going to happen right here, right now.
I don't know any of the new Street Fighter games. That's the problem.
We are back. We have more incredible games coming up for you today. I am once again Tetcher, joined by Ryan Central, and we are getting ready. We've almost gone for a little bit of an endgame Thor and a little bit of a Loki situation going on here.
What are you trying to say?
Absolutely nothing. It's the beard.
I made like the cardinal sin mistake of a caster by
I'm just clicking on letters.
As well, but this should be like a decent series with what we've seen so far. I'll let you talk it through.
Partial
match. Because I'm an absolute fool.
We've got some incredible matchups coming in. 100 Thieves coming in with some insane matchups, putting on incredible performances versus multiple teams, but they haven't looked clean. Whereas the Asia teams started off a little bit rough at the mid-season, have come in swinging, with Reject in particular actually doing some insane stuff, being able to perform in their group quite well. That's of course over on the other stream, but we're going to have a look at our group to see what's exactly going on there and how important this match is. Crazy Raccoon, they are sitting at the bottom of the table here, 0-2. The only team behind them is OUG, who have made everyone they've played against work for those losses. But Crazy Raccoon, they need this win in order to push themselves up the board here. If they do, they'll even themselves out with 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves are currently sitting at a 1 win, 2 losses. No, sorry, they'll actually overtake 100 Thieves. Because Crazy... No, actually, yeah, because 100 Thieves will move over to 1 win and 3 losses if Crazy Raccoon beat them, which could put Crazy Raccoon in contention to snipe the American champions for that spot.
Well, now that we're getting to the end of day 2 and day 3, like, permutations become important. What I assume as well is if we do see teams equal on score and it's like a potential qualifying, potential elimination, imagine head-to-head's going to be the thing that defines it. It usually is, right? So I think at this point, like, trying to do the science of it, you've got League Ops people, mathematicians, very smart. They're trying to work out all of the different... almost Doctor Strange type permutations of all of the things that could happen. Here it does sort of generally feel if Crazy Raccoon loses and goes 0-3, their chances of actually qualifying for playoffs on Friday are pretty much brought down to 0. But it depends
at this
on how
point, I'm just trying to see like
some of those
who the
cheeky
characters
come from.
are.
If OUG can do some damage to the likes of Citadel and stuff because they haven't really had the chance to play them yet. It's like those moments, right, when some weird stuff can happen and the group is opened up again.
You're talking about where those wings come from, and of course we always
I don't know who any of these characters are. I'm sure you guys are like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I don't know,
What can you actually tell us about the history of these teams on these maps?
I don't know what I'm
doing.
I
think it's because it is domination best of 3s typically that we start these tournaments.
There was one character specifically that I remember.
It is a randomized map, so it's not as if we see a particular league,
but I don't know what their name was.
When we get to best of 5s where some teams might pick domination, generally people don't choose this map. It's just a little bit more trying to get comfortable in this area. So for both, it's like 2 wins, 3 losses, 50-50 for both sides.
So we're going to be jumping into the highlights for these teams here. We're starting off with the American champions, 100 Thieves. They are the 3rd place team from the mid-season finals. Currently running in with Terror a little bit under the weather, but they're continuing to throw everything they have and try to make it into these playoffs. They have some of these.
I don't think I'm going to get this one, folks.
Millennia has been extremely impactful and
know
trying to find openings for them as well. And Millennia, while joining the team at those mid-season finals in terms of the main spot here, has really evolved in terms of how they play the game.
Yeah,
Blanca's
it also feels
good
as well for
That's
like
kinda
Terra.
crazy.
Fantastic first map against Na'Vi
Well, it's
yesterday.
not a
It was
male.
just like the MVP clearly.
It's not a male.
Was put in
It's
his
not a
pocket, and he went from
female.
there. But it's because it was a long series. It was the last
But
game
I don't
of the day.
know
They
what
played the
the
first game of the
names
day yesterday
of the
too.
other
And like you said, like
characters that
he's
are
unwell. Like he's still performing and
just,
playing well,
like-
which kudos to him. It
don't
is
know.
like it felt like he ran out of steam a bit. But also Delaney was hard targeted from the looks, from like speaking to people. It felt like there was a lot of just almost trying to make Terra the carry because there's only so much that he could do, despite how good he is. I just don't think the Crazy Raccoon are going to be able to deal with that regardless. It was just now.
Does anybody
knowing
in
how to
here
put
know
too much
Street
strain on one
Fighter?
player to be the difference maker. It felt like.
But we're going to have a look at Crazy Raccoon as well. While you don't think
Yeah,
they might be able to do it,
they were saying Terra was sick the other day
too.
too.
They didn't make it to those mid-season finals by one series, losing out to Gen G. But
Hold on.
they are going to try and
Okay.
fight their way through this time. Crazy Raccoons are playing incredibly right now. They've gone through some crazy adaptations, even in their own roster, with their coach coming into play, and we've already seen what an impact they can make. They are the first team in this tournament, and I believe the only team to bring out the Black Widow.
I don't know any of these characters.
Very hard to play against. They actually seem to fit in sort of that little box that they seem to have been created by OUG of being the only team consistently running Iron Fist and being very hard to draft against. Because of that, Crazy Raccoon having that star hero, that sneak pick where you can really catch people off guard.
Yeah, I mean, just like the Japanese organization has been in so many different games, and I think, like, regardless, like Japan as a region in like hero shooters or just FPS games full stop have been like behind West, behind maybe China or Korea especially. But it feels like what we do see from Asian teams is cherry picking good ideas and good strategies.
I'm
like
trying
you
to
said,
guess
sort of
the
just leaning
Street
in,
Fighter
like, hey, we have a really good Black Widow player.
I don't
You
know
still
the
get to
Street
practice
Fighter
against it.
games
It's
like
not the most optimal, but sometimes you can
at
really
all.
throw a curveball at big teams by playing some weird stuff. Case in point,
The
Iron
only
Fist that
Street
we saw a little
Fighters I
bit from
ever played
OUG.
were Street
The
Fighter
best
1,
teams
2,
can
and
sometimes struggle
5.
with it because how often do you realistically, if you scrim a team playing Iron Fist or Black Widow, you're blacklisted
So, like,
straight afterwards. You're never
anybody
scrimming them
who
again.
wasn't in those games, I don't know
thinks
them.
to practice against a Widow Mantis rocket combo, because when's that gonna happen? And the answer is right here at the at these grand finals here for Marvel Rivals Ignite, and that's what makes Crazy Raccoon scary. They are an X factor in what is already a terrifying group that could really cause some upsets here. And starting off already on the Burn T'Challa with all the incredibly varied setups, with every single section of the map being probably the most different out of all of the domination maps. We've got some great setups here.
Yeah. And so, Burning T'Challa is where we're going to go to.
Dude, there
it
was,
wasn't
like, a
decided by
specific
any of the
character,
teams.
and
We
I
always
don't
start on
know what it-
domination. So, like, when we get to best of fives, you might see teams try and pick it up a little bit later.
Oh.
But if we do go
Well, I
for
got
a
it.
full three-map series, we do have to go through all of the different game modes.
Yes.
The Convergence, the Convoy, but we always start...
I got
on
it, I guess.
Yeah, we did, which I think was crazy, and it was a team that Crazy Raccoon struggled with a little bit yesterday,
Genderless,
just in a
unknown,
2-0 loss, and it felt like in that one,
hyper-adaptation.
Crazy Raccoon, the
Yeah.
excitement and the power that they showed up against Citadel, I think it was, in their, like, the second game, their first game, that was just completely missing, and it felt like the NA teams were just a little bit more like, we've seen what they can do now, we know how to shut them down, but moving into it, 100 Thieves versus Crazy Raccoon, it doesn't feel like it's an elimination game for 100 Thieves at this point, but if Crazy Raccoon, they're clinching onto tournament life here, if they get a win, it could really put some strain on the top seed out of America.
100 Thieves sitting on the brink. We're starting off with those Mantis bads. Vital is already giving us a little bit of a tease, hovering at the Widow, just a bit of a
the
shove
cap
to the
ban.
crowd here. And like you say, the Captain America ban, trying to remove that backline pressure. And this does mean that 100 Thieves secure themselves a Mantis. If they can get Terra onto that Winter Soldier or any of the other characters like Phoenix that they are insane on, then 100 Thieves may have just found themselves an immediate opening.
Well, so yeah, like the second ban onto Captain America is a little bit unorthodox, but it's clever in the sense of Crazy Raccoon having their coach J-Mac playing. And J-Mac's typical hero pool has been a little bit of a comfort pick going onto the Captain America. So they, 100 Thieves told them, okay, you have a player that's not really a player, still very good to play at this level, but not quite the main roster for Crazy Raccoon.
We're talking about that.
Being able to actually take him off of his comforts and making him more of a weak link. You even have the protection onto the rocket to allow that sort of triple strategy setup, which 100 Thieves have been very in favor for so far this tournament, when a lot of teams have moved away.
They love that triple strategist, they love that double damage boost with the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier and the allied Inspire. Ironically, exactly what Crazy Raccoon used to set up for that Widow. But again, this is domination. The sightlines on this map are significantly lower for a lot of those points, meaning that Widow is unlikely to be seen. And Winter Soldier taken away. We saw just how good it was, and it's the that is the reaction that we saw from Citadel when they were against 100 Thieves earlier. When they were struggling, they adjusted and they took away the Winter Soldier from Terra, and then they were starting to really creep back up again. And also, with the invis removed as well, removing that anchor heal. If you're going to do triple strategist, we want to make sure that you don't get the highest priority strategist.
You have to protect onto the Emma Frost,
like
which
us
is
losing
one-sided
Emma
Crazy
Frost
Raccoon,
has been kind of
onto
tough.
Jeff, which isn't one-sided. It wasn't actually banned out in the end. So you're looking at like a couple more bits and pieces, really. The Hella ban right at the end, more of a mix, I suppose, that 100 Thieves are trying to select certain targets to make sure that people can't get comfortable. Vital's hovering over the Black Widow. I don't know, but taking out the Hella, it's not only a good option, but making sure that that team up can't really come into favor with Namor means that there's only so much a Crazy Raccoon can rely on with some of that coordination.
My concern, again, is very much just due to the sight lines on this map. For example, the inner areas, you're not going to find a good position for Widow outside of that one high ground, which can be easily countered by stuff like a Star-Lord or a Phoenix really coming up, or anything melee coming up to you. If you're in this center area, you can see here, again, there's one high ground position that's going to get you some good value, or you're once again vulnerable to any dive duel.
Well,
any dive
here we go, diving into game 2 of the day for the Thieves.
No, not at all. It's also similar to what 100 Thieves have been doing, I think, where in the series against Citadel, it was very much like neither team banning out the same character, that it feels very selective on their opponents. For example, you've got Mantis, Cap, Venom, and Hela available on one side for 100 Thieves. Meanwhile, Emma, Adam, Bucky, and Invisible Woman is available for Crazy Raccoon.
Crazy Raccoon also, they had the hands on the rocket that 100 Thieves didn't. Well, they're not going to roll out with
the
it.
Namora and Hela team up?
Pre-armor up the team with that rocket.
Is that like a gross team up?
So they are already going to be coming in with a slight advantage over 100 Thieves. That's the fact they have that bonus health on board for 100 Thieves with that Hela Namor. And with that double strategist here, utilizing the damage AoE boost on to the Deatific Vitality team up. They now have a great setup. Good sleep onto J-Mac though as they tried to creep around from the side. No first blood yet.
Trying to go in for a little bit of a pseudo dive with JT over on the Strange to begin with.
It's crazy.
I think it was a portal play to begin with. He's actually going to be the first that goes down in this
Delana
series.
gets first blood
Delana
here.
is going to be playing on the name or just taking pot shots more from a significant difference. And TTK's kind of found themselves on his own. That's a hell of a fadeaway shot onto NX though. It's like, well, I'm not locked in here with you, you're locked in here with me. He was completely isolated on his own, but instantly 100 Thieves with a more like bunkered set down, not high mobility comp, able to peel for him.
Delana pushing up to the choke point, going to try and keep Crazy Raccoon locked down here. Crazy Raccoon's burst potential here with this Psylocke.
I feel like the tough thing about games like this as well
insane, but it doesn't matter if you can't get set up
picks and bans make a huge difference on
already trying to create a
like how a team is going to play.
To make sure that they have every angle covered.
Obviously that's part of the game, right? Like I'm not complaining about it, but it can have like a big effect on how teams play or how a game plays out.
Let's just get out very casually. We do see the regeneration domain used, but because of how open this part of the map is, Techa, it feels that this composition 100 Thieves is working on could it be better set. There's so many little crossfires, you're playing from a good amount of distance, and Crazy Raccoon are just almost chasing players individually one at a time. Goose chases, which is only buying time for 100 Thieves as they now reach almost 50% on the point.
Delana's on flank, just continuing to do exactly what Namor is incredible at, and that is quick burst. While he is a great static defender, if you land that quick burst setup with the right click, you can really set up beautifully with the Dance of the Butterfly from Vital, trying to set up for Crazy Raccoon to create an opening, but Harvey shut it down with the clone, while Tidal Judge is used for the zoning. It's Jeff able to grab one, but taken down too quickly. Terra with the reaction.
There we go.
We'll see them ascend to the sky, siege on in, and that's
Terra gets a couple there.
We're already at 71%. 100 Thieves not allowing anything for Crazy Raccoon yet.
No, Crazy Raccoon haven't really even touched the point outside of a couple of plays, but it's never really been a progression. Now we're starting to see stuff come through as the Ensong Inferno is used from NX. Switching on over, unfortunately you've lost a little bit of your front line as J-Mac has gone down over on Angela. 2/3 were almost grabbed from Crazy Raccoon, but it's starting to dissipate all the way back, just as 90% has been reached. 100 Thieves pretty much pushing all of this back, and Crazy Raccoon not having much to actually break through. Meanwhile, Vital switched over towards the Adam Warlock.
realizing they can get back through the portal, they can drop a soul bomb, which is essentially a strategist ultimate in its own right in terms of how much damage it can actually resist for your team. They can also try and build up to a Karmic Revival if this fight continues to extend down. This is the overtime strats, bringing out Rocket, bringing out Adam, making sure you can contest for as long as possible. Jung-hoon is dropping as much healing, trying to build up to that 100% for a Fate of Both Worlds. Meteor M, Delena takes out Vital, who's brought back with the Cocoon, but now if they go down, there's no revives, no backups, as they're getting focused down. It's Jeff to try and remove them from the board. Frenzied Arrival takes out Loki with the bubble for the retreat. He's going to try and yeet them off the edge there.
Only got one.
Able to try and back out a little bit more as Crazy Raccoon finally gets to the point, they get control, and it feels like it could be a repeat of what we've seen from Crazy Raccoon. I don't think they've been able to actually pick up a map on domination, but the first one always tends to be 99% to 99%. However, you've got Delane and it's absolutely cutting through Crazy Raccoon. It's going to be 17%. There's not really going to be any chance for people to be touching on the side of 100 feet of Crazy Raccoon because that portal was used up. So the first point taken decisively for 100 Thieves in the end.
Thieves have a good, comfortable round one. Like to see that.
To set themselves up for a 2-2 in order
especially
to
after that first game.
Contention. It's not going to put them out of the running if they go 1-3, but it will certainly make
I feel like you definitely have to have like a deep character pool
this group. So that was an incredibly important
to really
round
be
win.
good at games like
keep
this.
This momentum up.
But I guess the best way to put it is it's out of your hands if you go 2-3. You're relying on other teams.
At least when there's like
bans
and protects and things
Terra
like that.
has not been eliminated once, 11-0. Not with TTK, but it's not really getting the final hits. I think Delane has actually
like in the games where there's not
2-2-2
a ban and a protect, you tend to
towards triple strategist. Not only
be able to kind of like just play whatever you want to play.
Teams, but certainly in this tournament thus far.
Looking at the ultimate charges here, JT3 almost charged on that media.
But yeah, if you have like an insta lock and somebody bans it,
one-shot combo.
You're charged.
Here, TTK could potentially absorb it if he times 9 bulwark correctly. Vinny just needs to make sure that they're not going to get caught in it while they're in symbiotic resilience. And Delena has the Aquatic Blessing, which isn't going to be taken out. One of the few protective abilities that will not be destroyed by Endsong Inferno.
Way sooner
I think for this one too, because Terra hasn't gone down, and we've sort of said like all of these sightlines. I want to stay on Terra's POV as much as possible to see just how much Crazy Raccoon actually dive onto him and try and deal with him, because he has been getting away with stuff scot-free. He is going to be pushed back, but immediately you got the Regen Domain and the Magneto with the Iron Curtain, just blocking some of the damage. They have an inclination of where Terra's playing from, and they don't necessarily want him to be set up with these fights. Unfortunately, however, whilst they were positioning, Vinny's been able to cut through into the backline as the Venom.
Endsong Inferno going to be coming out. That will pop Terra out of that Goddess of Death, but they did not get the one-shot because JT3 was dropping the Meteor M too early there. They tried to send it to the backline so they could try and split the attention and force a mistake on 100 Thieves, but no mistakes are being found as Terra chases them down with TTK, and once again they forced Crazy Raccoon back to spawn.
Oh. I thought you were saying I was going to gain 8.
Fights that we see. Maybe not so much of
I'm trying to gain weight, but I'm not trying to gain 8.
Celestial Husky have like 3-minute fights on the point to begin with.
Yeah,
here it's
definitely not as much here.
I don't even know if there's a way to lift 800 pounds in that gym.
Crazy Raccoon trying to save some of their ultimates. I think Vital's had that Adam Warlock ultimate to work with for a good amount of time. But there's never really been a good instance to use it naturally because they keep getting picked off one at a time. It's not a full team wipe.
Corner Proteus into the backline that sets Delena up for the pickup onto Vital. Once again, that's going to create more of those undead monstros for the setup into the backline to try and pick up the strategist. Only going to get Mantis. Meteor M nukes the fish with the help of Harvey. And Lastro will not find anything this day.
Nothing from the ult. That's huge.
These are still sat back with 3 players on the point, 3 ultimates on the point. For Crazy Raccoon, it's just the lack of initiation. You're losing plays one at a time. One of your strategists has gone down with the invisible boundary, so Sung-hoon has to wait. And even Vital switched away from the Adam Warlock. That Karmic Revival's not going to get used. He wants to go for something a little bit more offensive because 100 Thieves have been sat so pretty and just been picking them off one at a time. That's why this comp is so good that 100 Thieves are running.
It's just too much sustained, and if you get caught after
Terra gets a
that Karmic Revival in a Tidal Dirge, that anti-heal basically means you're going to be sitting ducks for that hell of the mod composition either way. And it's finally going to take down Terra. It's starting to feel personal at this point as Crazy Raccoon starts to try and push on through. Delena falls right after him, all the damage output is gone. They're still dropping ultimates to try and secure the points and not give time for reinforcement. If we get the focus onto Vinny on the Venom, but Vinny is not going to let them go down that easy. Retreats using the mobility of that character. Here comes the clone from Harvey into the Mantis. Locks down. Iron Bulwark almost saves them, but they still fall to JT3 as Final comes in with a crack and impact. Terra's on the flank though, making sure that they're in a safe position. Meteor is a big burst onto Vital, and 100 Thieves are still holding this. The Eye of Agamotto locks them down, but JT3 has no follow-up.
It gets Melania though, so one of the strategists has gone down here. Goddess of Death though, Terra has just had free reign so far, and similar to that first point here on Benim T'Challa. Crazy Raccoon throwing the kitchen sink to try and take the point right at the end, but only to get team digits potentially. Yeah, they're going to try and throw in whatever they can at this rate. Vital's going to have to switch over to the Strange to go for the portal play, but it's back in the hands of 100 Thieves. That progression for Crazy Raccoon has gone down, and look at overtime. That wick is essentially gone.
Angela's been brought onto the board instead of Penny to make sure that they have someone to try and knock them off the board.
They got through the OT pretty quick.
Everything with a low cooldown that can try and
gotta rewatch your Marvel movies.
Time. Angela pushing onto the flank, trying to go for the assassin charge. Will not find it. They got the flip, but this is Crazy Raccoon.
I feel like I've kind of lost a little bit of interest in some of the Marvel
movies. The points because the 100 Thieves just walk back in and take it afterwards. They needed to get someone to find a stagger there, but they just can't do so. Horde of Proteus into the backline, but it's not finding targets yet.
Forced out the regeneration domain, however, and NX now wants to try and go for the counter-attack. Able to at least catch on to Melania, and so these picks are actually working out quite in favor. And whilst it was Crazy Raccoon maybe getting up to 20% before, they've now reached 50 and have managed to reset 100 Thieves back. Terra's switching over towards the Punisher now, just to have something a little bit more forward-facing and an ultimate to just clean up house as and when needed.
They're set up beautifully here. Crazy Raccoon is starting to creep back in up to 61%, but like you said, with that Punisher built up already at 69%, they are now in a position where a final judgment and a dance of the butterfly, it does not matter what Crazy Raccoon do, they're likely going to get first, meaning that they have to win the fight before those are used, and they've already been able to take down TTK. It's Jeff into the back line. Then you've dropped the Punisher culling turret to try and just focus down Jeff, who's fleeing towards the edge, looking to try and take out Delena off the board. Melania's going down, and they chase them off the board.
Might be able to get their first domination point so far this tournament.
The interrupt!
It was interrupted, so TDK doesn't have that option. He has to switch away from it just as Crazy Raccoon are hitting 95%. Vinny has to dive in order to touch to make sure that OT is hit, but they lose Delena in the same process.
Locks down,
Did we just
Vinny is
choke?
picked off, overtime's ticking down, here comes the charge. Harvey is trying to rush onto the point using the clone of the Angela to just try and reach the Heaven's Descent, to try and just rush on through, to touch that board as overtime ticks on down, and Crazy Raccoon are
we just trolled. What
it's
the
a fever
fuck?
dream really for Crazy Raccoon, because so much of the time there was like a really good first point, 99% to 99%. The second point, Crazy Raccoon would just lose it whole-handedly. But that portal play in the end working really nicely. And you got to say, J-Mac being able to switch over towards the Everfrost. Granted that you have stuff
we
like
gave them
Captain
like
America
a free OT.
and, essentially
and then when we had the opportunity to touch,
he was playing some terrific
we just
Everfrost,
completely
and then
trolled.
you also have JT3 that switched over to the Angela and did so much to create space. 100 Thieves had to make adaptations, and it seems that they're going to try and stay on this Punisher Psylocke combination.
And even better news for Crazy Raccoon. They forced out the God of Mischief at the end of that round. Harvey copied onto the Angela just to try and reach the objective in time. So now they're down in ultimate just to try and touch and recontest. And that is a rough situation to be in when you burn an ultimate and don't flip.
It doesn't, like, if it was the third point, sure, that makes sense. But I think doing it on second just feels a little bit unnecessary, no? Like, it's not too much of a stress. Dropping a point on a domination map can be a little bit annoying for the most part. Terra has got the final judgment, but he just gets absolutely focused by it down. He isn't given the space that he had on the first and even the start of the second point of this map. Instantly, they spotted him, and 3 people just ran at him and eliminated him.
And this means positioning is going to be taken by Crazy Raccoon, who used the Jeff to arrive on the point a little bit quicker as well, so they took that defensive position and forced that mistake. Diving to the backline with the frenzied arrival, but now the lockdowns, the knockbacks. Vinny still picks up Seong Hood, though.
Damn,
even through
Vinny
all
actually
of
got a
that,
pick out of
Jeff
that.
has to be used for the defensive purposes to let him with the extra burst. And Lastro, though, is going to make sure that they at least trade out something, able to make that a 2 for 2.
Just making sure that there's no place he could
NX.
jump off. Crazy Raccoon showing a bit more like Spunk, honestly, just a little bit more firepower. This is the top seed coming out of the Asia region, and people weren't really expecting it. I think they would even say that Rejects are probably the team that you expect to go further from this region. But Crazy Raccoon just have a lot of tenacity to actually prove a lot of people wrong. It would be a statement in itself if we see Crazy Raccoon pick up their first domination win against 100 Thieves. That's just how crazy it is. But 100 Thieves, they haven't had the best results recently. They're sort of expected to win this one. It would be a disaster start.
Okay, there we go.
Dylan's able to get two. Terra pushing forward, still holding on to that final judgment, not needing it yet though, as they just take the neutral. The push up is calm, it's collected, and it's all the pickups they need. They're still running this.
We get our cap here.
It's just working for them with that extra damage, especially
got 3
as they
ults.
have that Symbiote Soul Drainer combo, so that they can just lock people in place, meaning Punisher's going to get even more damage output, and they now have double damage boost potentially with Loki and the Mantis being able to set Terra up to land those damage boosted headshots.
You got Vital also moving back to the Adam Waller for the Camera Revival. I feel that was the one thing that was letting Crazy Raccoon down on that second point. Now that they have to go back to that solo duelist for NX to do that damage, you do have the ultimate available, but you're trying to find a good position to go in for this fight. What's going to be the initiation tool? You do have a Psionic Seduction almost ready for JMac. They haven't quite found it yet.
And we win, dead ass.
Coming in just from the side, just as 100 Thieves were trying to back off. They created so much space for Terra, and he's carved right through the Asian team.
But the Karmic Revival is going to come out. Vital will fall, but they can cocoon themselves back to rejoin this fight and keep these reses coming in. Everyone except Young Hood, but they're just going down once again. The positioning of 100 Thieves takes the momentum, and they flip this 54-35 in favor of Thieves. Crazy Raccoon are putting on the fight, but again, they're just getting pushed off the point.
And we still have 4 ults, which is good.
He went for the Adam Warlock, he used the Camera Revival. Is Vital going to switch over to anything else? No, he wants to stick towards this triple strategist setup that they've been running.
So it feels like we have maybe 1 or 2 more team fights.
Eye of Agamotto is going to be nice for JT3, but it's whether you can actually get into good positions to separate 100 Thieves. And 100 Thieves, just with this comp, are not going to be playing close together. So a multiplayer stun is going to be a little bit more challenging than it would be on some other ideas the teams running.
There's also the risk of that regeneration domain that could shut them down. The AoE from
but Harvey goes down,
making it very hard to deal. Harvey will get taken down, so no regeneration domain. Here comes the Ensock Inferno into the backline. NX looking for a setup, tries to take the duel, but it's too much. Terra able to take the duel. Eye of Agamotto locks them down though, but where's the follow-up? Once again, every single Eye of Agamotto we have been seeing. But the Jeff comes on in to try and remove people off the board, but Lastro is bombed off the point. Vinny's in the backline. Vital's dropping low, utilizing the shield of the Strange, but it's just not enough as Terra is still uncontested. And with JT3 on the board, they can't portal back, Ryan.
I mean, how many of these picks that Terra's been able to get have been with the shotgun? He's not even playing from distance. He's just getting stuck in and involved.
Alright, Thieves take map 1. It was very tense.
As 100
very tense there, but
able to take up this first game mode in this
still able to take the first map.
What a
That's
setup.
massive.
What a close game in those first and second points, but it really felt like 100 Thieves were able to lock back in. While Crazy Raccoon took that first fight on the waterfalls there, it was just full control out of 100 Thieves, just bullying them in neutrals every single time. The ultimate fights weren't even important.
Elena gets MVP off that.
Just to make Crazy Raccoon use theirs. They dropped the final judgment just to do the Karmic Revival, and then just won afterwards anyway.
So looking at the stats, we sort of expected Terra to be the golden child as he has been for 100 Thieves, but I think Delena quite rightfully MVP in this one, and it's nice to see them be able to sort of go for this 2-2-2 with the low-key Mantis. It makes a lot of sense to sort of go for this Soul Resurgence. Just
Amir, there we go.
Keep these
starting off 1-0.
Also, when you've got triple strategists on the other side, maybe even able to sneak invisible bounty.
We needed that.
In these cases might have been good, but it just feels that for Crazy Raccoon there, you've got the Eye of Agamotto that was used
after giving up that.
Just as NX went down, playing
that second round.
So it's one of those times where you're
that was a little scary.
Duelist when you're playing this comp that is expected to do a lot of damage onto these free targets because they're CC'd. They're gone. They're out of the server for a couple of seconds. So who's going to be the one to sort of follow through with the damage?
We're going to have a look at the highlights from that last
Only
match.
one more map, then we auto-qual.
Quite intense, even though 100 Thieves are taking the lead.
Is it an auto-qual if we win?
Very similar to all of these Asia and Chinese teams compared to their performances in mid-season.
I guess, because
really
Crazy Raccoon
work for it, and they're proving that
hasn't
they
won
are
anything yet.
You can see on this first point, though,
and OUG hasn't won either.
This first
so
positioning of Delena and, of course, of Terra, just catching every single angle that Crazy Raccoon tried was just too much to deal with. But it's on the second point where Crazy Raccoon started to bring it back with some very good adaptations that allowed them to sustain through a couple more fights.
Yeah, and they tried a lot of different stuff. It seems that every highlight you look at what Vital's playing in is a completely different character. There was a brief Bucky involved here. He was the strange to try and go for a portal play. Able to fight in, and a fantastic interrupt onto TTK. It shows the Crazy Raccoon, like, the Asia region is generally
I noticed that, Steve. Like, if you can get the healers like here, with the Jeff ult, like, the other team is cooked.
The dive came in from Crazy Raccoon towards
especially if you can, I mean, obviously, if you can throw him off the map.
Give him that space. He's got a little pocket and opening, and he knows what to do with it.
And also, we've got to bring in the factors. We keep mentioning the Asia team, and of course, NX is also American. So bringing him out and having him continue to perform is just continuing just to show how much Americans are creeping up.
If we win, we go through, and then when we play FlyQuest, it's for seeding. Yeah, that makes sense.
How much the Asia and Chinese teams have improved in Crazy Raccoon. They're not out yet. There's so much potential. There is going to be a substitute in that next game. We'll reveal who it is, though, after the break. So don't go anywhere.
Substitute.
We still have 1 or 2 more maps coming up after this.
For Crazy Raccoon or for us? Yeah, because OUG and Crazy Raccoon, if we win, they'll both be 0-3. So if we can close it out 2-0, that would be great. No stress. No extra stress for the series here. I mean, at this point, if you're Crazy Raccoon, you're playing with house money. Yeah, Mir, I plan on watch partying the game tomorrow as well. I plan on trying to watch party all this week. For all the matches that the Thieves have. I plan on watch partying all the Thieves matches this week. Obviously, I don't know how it's gonna look with bracket play, but I plan on still watching for bracket play as well. I'm really looking forward to the COD release, though. That's what I'm really anticipating. Although for Halloween, if they play on Halloween, that could be a problem, because we're supposed to be hanging out with some friends on Halloween. So I guess it kind of depends on when matches are, if they play on Halloween. Am I playing the Battlefield BR today? I am not. I don't have Battlefield. 2, I don't like Battle Royales. So, yeah. Not gonna be doing that one. I'm not a big Battle Royale guy. I think like Prime Fortnite was probably the most I enjoyed a Battle Royale. And that was more, I think, because I was playing with friends and we were kind of like just goofing around a lot. But nowadays, Battle Royales, just not a big fan of them. The Battle Royale is free. Yeah, I still probably won't play it. Like I said, I'm not a big Battle Royale guy. I think the only other Battle Royale I would have tried is probably like the Halo Battle Royale. Because like I said, I feel like I was kind of good at Halo, so I feel like if they would have done a Battle Royale for that, I probably would have given it a go, but
Hello guys, this is 100Thieves Marvel Rivals, and we'll see you at DreamHack Atlanta.
And there's a really solid chance that they might see us. They may be players of their word, as 100Thieves now sit 1-0 in this best of
Did they say
series,
it's DreamHack?
but not without a little bit of drama.
That was pretty well coordinated, I'd say, for trying to say the whole thing together. So that's sort of expected, what you'd expect from the top seed out of America, that there is that coordination in play. But yeah, here it is a curve.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Battlefield. I think Battlefield
they do have the choice here
has been a fun game at times.
And they've gone for Central Park, which is
just
very
the Battle
different.
Royale,
I'm
not a big
decent map for Crazy Raccoon
I'm not a big fan of.
Asia in particular, and it's been.
But I'm really excited for the COD though. Because when my game wasn't tweaking playing the beta, it was a lot of fun.
Really played it that much in stage 2.
A lot of fun, even for pubs. And I want a camo grind.
I do also want to update everyone that we did have that substitute. We are seeing Vital subbed out for Hyan, which does mean that Vital have a little bit more time to go on a voyage to Astonish. As once again, we are in the spooky season and we are in our Halloween event. You can once again just make sure you play the games, enjoy it as best as you can, and make sure to not get too picked off by those malevolent spirits. But you can unlock yourself some wonderful skins, including, as we see here, Blade Knight, which will be gorgeous. Those who have seen Marvel Zombies, as I'm sure, like me, a big fan of Blade Knight coming in as well. And of course, for those who are an absolute menace like myself, Penny comes in as well.
Yeah, Penny's been on like a golden age, quite literally, I think, with the color scheme that Penny's had with some of the skins recently. Like you mentioned, Wastelander, this one, like, and then, you know, credits to the chef. What is it? What do you say when it's...
Compliments to the chef.
Compliments to the chef, that's it. Because I think that the team that have been designing some of these skins for Penny, because it's been a little bit of a drought up until probably end of I've forgotten the months, end of September-ish.
What year are we in? Where are we?
Yeah. It feels like that at the moment. We're just in our own little pocket universe. But regardless, a fantastic skin, and
I do plan on camo grinding when the new game comes out, and I'm
a very big fan of it.
I will probably.
We love to
do.
See it, but once again, make sure
I'll see about
Marvel Rivals to
doing possibly a 24-hour
and to
stream.
enjoy all of these wonderful skins that are delivered by our wonderful, malevolent, and ever so
I definitely don't
want
to like bother Kendall when she has to sleep. Because she actually has a job.
As well. It's gonna be weird to be making like Halloween holiday themed stuff like probably like February.
She actually provides for the household.
Yeah, but like going back into this series, it could be.
So I'm not trying to like
it really does feel
mess
like
anything up for her. You know what I mean?
But generally speaking, if they lose this map, they lose this series, we're not going to be seeing them.
Maybe we can figure out a 24-hour stream. Shit, I might end up doing it on accident if I'm grinding COD and I'm enjoying my time.
To get yourself into those playoffs, but 4 wins is 100% guaranteed. As you were talking
I might have to get like blue light glasses though, because I think sometimes when I sit at my monitor and I game for a while, I start to get like headaches and stuff because of probably partially because of the blue light.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally because we have the 6 teams round robin, 5 games most, so you kind of want to have a 50% plus win rate. That's the general consensus. Otherwise, I'm not too much how sure it is for the other group. It is going to be a lot more close with teams being able to take series off of each other. Like we don't really.
You wear them too?
Like, maybe behind
yeah, my girlfriend wears them as well. I don't have any myself, but
who's actually going to be
like because sometimes I get headaches from looking at my monitor and stuff. I think it would probably be smart to get some.
Because they haven't been able to pick up a series win yet, it feels like it could be chopped at the end. Quite literally for OUG because they have 2 chopped players, but for Crazy Raccoon, going 0-3 would be a disaster.
We're going to be having a look at those standings as we've just been informed. Like you say, OUG in particular, with those chopped players coming in for substitutes as Dream Plus players sitting at the bottom of the table. They are in about the most deadly position they possibly could be right here. They're so close to elimination, they really are relying on the performance of other teams to basically do worse than them at this point in order to have any hope of going through. Crazy Raccoon, they need this win to not be in the same situation, because while this round robin does give the opportunity for miracles, you don't want to be relying on a miracle unless you're going to the Heart of Heaven.
Are we casting Crazy Raccoon OUG tomorrow?
I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to look in a bit.
Because I feel like it might be playing for just bragging rights, not being the bottom team out of the groups for these two, depending on how the other results go. But like that's just going to be a fun series. Whimsical is probably the best way to describe how those two teams would play against each other. But I'm also a little bit worried. Like, you sort of think of it here. If Crazy Raccoon actually do pull themselves back in this series, 100Thieves will go 2-2. Citadel Gaming, I predicted them to lose against Na'Vi because I think Na'Vi's going to win this event, and I only think that because of the Na'Vi interview that I had with them. Just the vibes are immaculate, and they're a terrifying team on LAN. They've been perfect so far. But it's like, if Citadel Gaming go 2-2, 100Thieves go 2-2, Crazy Raccoon, they should go 2-2. If OUG is pretty much down in the mud, they would go 0-5 in their groups. Crazy Raccoon would be able to pick up a win there, especially if they can get some like momentum and feel like they've got something going for them. It could sort of be between like Crazy Raccoon, 100Thieves and Citadel Gaming in a world for who's going to be qualifying.
We are casting both those teams tomorrow, but not facing each other, unfortunately. So we won't get that opportunity for that matchup, but that will of course be on this stream, so you can make sure to tune on in and see if we get to that situation where Crazy Raccoon are able to take that win. It will come down to, will OUG potentially play spoiler? That is the risk that could come in here, and OUG have very nearly spoiled everyone's day so far, as they've come so close to winning.
I also want to get like the in-ear
they've made
headphones
terrifying for
because I feel like, especially when I'm wearing like a hat,
every time we see like
the over-ear headphones are less comfortable. They start to hurt my head a little bit.
Here we're just sort of waiting,
and if I plan on streaming a lot in one sitting, and I'm wearing a hat, that's probably not going to be very fun.
Assuming the Virtus Pro are being Virtus Pro in the other stream, there's other games going on at the moment, so you can be watching Group A action as we're talking.
I also need to do the campaign though, because the campaign mastery camo is fire.
Especially its first game on stage, right? Like, it's going to be in DreamHack.
So I might have to do that too, but if I do that, I'll probably do that off stream.
No, absolutely not. There's a few things you don't want to be doing if you're trying to have a long and fruitful life. Don't play against the best teams in the early rounds of
I don't know if I would
want
to stream
when you're trying to do crime. Let's learn a little bit more about the hero while we wait to get those
the campaign. I think I'd save the campaign for off stream. Just play the regular like multiplayer.
Hello everyone.
Go for camos in that.
It's great to see you all again. In Season 4.0, Dr. Doom's plan to seize the Heart of the Dragon has been delayed by Shoulau's clever tactics, and as the Shenlong tournament preparation unfolds, Daredevil is set to join the battle. Is his true goal to help the Ice City regain its place among the capital cities of heaven, or has he already decided to commit a necessary evil for the greater good? Be sure to find out when Daredevil joins the Marvel Rivals roster in Season 4.5. As a duelist, Daredevil's iconic radar sense makes all evil visible. Nothing escapes his sight. In combat, he can pick a priority target based on the situation, use his agility to close the gap, and unleash rapid attacks with his speedy clubs. When facing tough opponents, Daredevil taps into the Beast's power, amplifying his martial arts for even more deadly
Well, I didn't expect we would have another like reasonably
ability, and
length
Daredevil
break.
fully unleash the Beast. Any enemy who dares look at him will be gripped by fear, awaiting his cold justice. This update brings another round of team-up ability adjustments. We are removing Ragnarok Rebirth and taking Nemo out of Gamma Charge. Two brand new team-up abilities are coming: Bestial Hunt.
Here they are, the fools.
And Deep Rest.
The deep. Namor does not lose.
The legions of hell are beyond.
Season 4.5 will also introduce an exciting new mode, with details to be revealed at the Game Show on October 17th. Plus, we prepared a special Halloween event and themed costumes so we can celebrate this mysterious and lovely season together. We've heard the community's requests for cross-platform progression. We have made it a top priority, and it's been frantically cooking in development behind the scenes. We're excited to share that the feature is now ready. However, to ensure a smooth launch, we'll first invite a small group of players to test and provide feedback during Season 4.5 before officially launching cross-progression for everyone in Season 5. You will be able to link your accounts from different platforms in Settings, Other, Account Linking. Once you set a main character from one platform, you will use it across all linked
Do people play this on like a variety of platforms?
But there will be a cooldown between changes. Please note, your rank and leaderboard position will remain separate for each platform. When you play on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, your career battle stats and rank are tracked independently for each device.
I feel like that kind of makes sense.
To meet player demand, we're introducing home screen background customization. You can freely set previous season's main page animations and music, and even download high-res image of the login and lobby screens. Zhiyong is still hard at work on balance changes. Stay tuned for upcoming balance announcements and detailed team-up ability adjustments. And as always, ignite the battle.
Forgive me for what I am about to do. I see you. You've been judged. Face the devil. Wrath of the beast.
So does Daredevil have to like press something to be able to get like the vision through the walls?
Hellfire.
Or does he just have like X-ray vision?
On the hunt. Let the devil out! Ruthlessness is mercy.
Yeah, I feel like being able to see through the walls just naturally is kind of OP.
My birth and past are tainted. I fight to reclaim them each day. Straight to hell! Glorious! Thoughts and prayers! Blessed blades! To battle! Feathered fury!
Wait, she only has one wing?
Now is the time for salvation!
What the?
Heaven!
How does she fly with only one wing?
Overconfidence will destroy you.
Oh, great. We're getting hit with a be back soon screen, bro. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see, what's another game we can play here? Which one did we do? Did we do this one? I don't know. Smash Duel? Super Smash Bros? Interesting. Oh, so there's a variety of... Yeah, probably. Let's go Ness. Male. Not human. I'm thinking DK. Really? Really? Oh. No. What are the different species? Wait, so is this supposed to mean earlier or later than that? It's a male, but it's not human. Could it be Ganon? No. Is it Bowser? Well, because this is... I don't think it's Bowser, because Bowser's been around for a long time. Go Fox.
Which ones have what it takes to become the best of the best?
Hold on.
Apologies for
It's
the delay,
Pikachu? Oh,
but
that's
a
actually
little bit
not
of
a bad.
magic
It's
has
actually
been
not a
cast,
bad
and it
call.
looks like we may be heading into our next map, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I guess they
We've
consider
already, I
his
believe,
gender as
revealed what
other.
the next map is, because we're going to Midtown.
Pac-Man?
Park, we sort of highlighted a lot.
Central Park, sorry.
Yeah. It was the
Other
Halloween.
what?
It's the spooky map that's spooky all season because you've got Dracula
What?
just setting up camp in Central Park, just making it his own little home castle. But this is Crazy Raccoon's map choice. It has to be something that isn't domination. And if we do go to a map 3, because it's convergence that we're seeing here, it would have to be a pure payload convoy map that 100 Thieves would have the choice of. But it feels like Crazy Raccoon have tended to go towards Jalia, which is a similar type of map in the game mode. But
Well, I want to get now. I want to figure this
I don't think they would
out.
have expected this map when it comes to
It's
prep,
a
but they also
male,
haven't
but
really
it's
played it
not
that
like
much.
it's not
No, I don't
any of
think
these
so.
species.
Like you say, they haven't had
What's
a long
that?
chance
What's
to play.
that
You were telling me
dragon's
just before
name?
we started that this stage has been about as least as they've possibly done. They've played it twice, and they are 1-1 on it by the looks of it.
Not
Yeah,
Falco.
for Crazy Raccoon to, like, as a choice, and then 0 and 1 for 100 Thieves. Sort of does depend on who you're playing into. 100 Thieves have had to sort of fight a bit more tooth and nail, but that's because all of the America's teams have been focused in. But looking at the draft,
Ridley.
Emma Frost going to be taken out first for Crazy Raccoon.
Oh my
Something
God.
very similar to what
It
they
is
were doing on
Ridley.
that first map of Venom to
Let's
Chala.
go.
And protecting the Captain America this time because, J-Mac wants to play on the character that he's most comfortable on. As a reminder, he is the coach of this team, Hamid to sub in. And speaking of sub, Haynes
We're
now
gonna leave
has
that
served
open
to the
now,
vital.
since there's a
And
chance we
jumped
might have
on
another
in, and
delay.
they're currently hovering a little bit of an iron fist. While we're not, of course, on that Midtown that I mistakenly called us earlier, this is a map where we have seen a little bit of iron fist in the past. The verticality
I actually
of this
knew
map
a
is
little
actually
bit
something that
more
Iron Fist
about
can take a
Smash.
pretty good advantage
I
on,
don't
especially in
remember
that
all the
first
character
objective point.
names,
Adam will be taken
but
away. I don't expect we will see the Iron Fist. Just
I
to be
played
clear,
it more
but both
recently,
teams are hovering it at least for
so
start
like I
points.
knew a little bit more about the
It
characters.
just feels like it's going to be the... You know when you have some characters that define Esports events? It's just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, do you remember
Then I
Iron
did
Fist at, like, DreamHack Atlanta?
Street Fighter.
Assuming that like everybody's going to do their best OUG cosplay with it. But actually a lot of like peachy characters actually taken out from Crazy Raccoon They've gone for the Protect over onto the Jeff again like they did last time.
Very
so
late.
At least have that to work with. Meanwhile,
okay, let's see. Thieves ban Mantis, and
the very late Jeff Protect means that they were trying to force 100 Thieves
Psylocke,
to take away that Venom, and they
Emma Frost,
bite. Crazy Raccoon, if they are comfortable with a Venom of their own here, they can get themselves that
Star-Lord,
shenanigans team up. But
Protect
really
Captain America,
play up to this point.
and Jeff.
Not too much, no.
It's just been banned every game.
Okay.
I mean, understandably so, I think.
Interesting.
And I kind of like the idea. So I think it's like Hayden's been like a main player for this Crazy Raccoon roster. He's been unwell, right? For the first couple of days. That's why he's not been playing.
Yeah.
So it feels like maybe it's because, you know, tournament lives are on the line. It's like we have to put him in at some point, like especially when he could still have impact. It is just a little bit like unfortunate, really. But 100 Thieves are also playing with an unwell player, so it's a little bit like
it evens out.
Who's the most sick person that could come out with the most sick plays? As 100 Thieves are going to be defending first, as Crazy Raccoon chose the side as well as the map, they're going to go on attack.
All right, Thieves start off on defense.
In more ways than one. We are potentially about to find out. As Hyan looking to potentially start us off on Adam Warlock here could be pretty exciting. I did not know we could camera tilt. That is very cool as we are heading in towards Squirrel Girl's portable base set up for this main attack onto Dracula's castle. And 100 Thieves, they've put themselves in here with a 2-1-3.
Black Widow, oh, just for a second. I mean, that's what we sort of expect more from Black Widow players, but we have seen Vital at the very least show off a little bit more.
I don't know if I've seen this map played competitively. I think I saw it when they first announced the Fantastic Four characters, but I don't think I've watched it played competitively. I could be wrong though.
But Crazy Raccoon doing a good job to actually get in onto the choke, but unfortunately 3 of the backline players haven't managed to turn around. The focus has to go onto Vinny, who gets pulled back from the force physics, but the healing, the bulwark, all of that mitigation, able to get him out.
They let Bucky through if they are on the new patch. It's GG for CR.
Seeking an opening, TDK drops low, but the healing output is solid.
We like that.
They once again have that Mantis and that Loki team up, but they don't have the Invis. It's already been taken down. Terra coming in with the Kraken impact, damage boosted for the first attempt at a reset. Does not find one, and as such, Crazy Raccoon could look for an opening here. Go for it, it's Jeff to try and grab the defenders. Gets 3, trying to send them off the edge, and that's gonna be a double, delayed triple. Gonna be picked up by Lastro, and Crazy Raccoon completely take the first point.
Able to absolutely set up shop, but the protection onto Jeff was a big one.
Yeah, Steve, I don't get why they're not banning Jeff.
You can sort of see why it's such a focal part. It's not even the most focal part. It's not their first protect they're going for because they want to make sure that J-Mac has something comfortable to work with as and when needed. But so far, he's been solid. Ayan is over on the Adam Warlock. Camera Revival is available. And really here, it's just a case of like,
Steve, that's something I always wonder when, like, when things repeatedly happen and affect the team, I never understand why you just let it continue to happen.
From the Abyss into the back line. J-Bank looking for an opening. Eye of Agamotto from afar for the setup, but Harvey's not going to get caught. Can try and keep the team topped up as Harvey with the cloak
TTK
from the
with the dunk.
That's all rejuvenation, forcing Hyatt for that Karmic Revival, brings back NX. J-Bank nearly falls as well, but if they go down the next couple seconds,
seriously, Destiny
will be lucky enough to get caught in this with the invisible boundary for the chain on the end of it, so they can keep sustained after that revive through the fight.
Wait, that white Venom skin is dope as fuck.
Still has their own soul rejuvenation, and with all the defensive ultimates used by Crazy Raccoon, Terra has become the terror of the skies.
Star-Lord is going to be so strong on the second point when you have all of this verticality and it's not available for Crazy Raccoon to try and go for a similar play. It's just been completely irritated. Him and Vinny trying to coordinate onto targets, being as nonsensical as they possibly can. For Crazy Raccoon, they haven't really managed to push this payload much further outside of this second point. The Jeff players come in and is able to grab
three
I don't think there's
again.
going to be anything able to catch him. Astro's going to take himself out just because there was a little bit of follow-up from 100 Thieves, but the whole team has pretty much been taken out in an instant.
TTK was also sent off the map, not even by Jeff. They got a quadruple environmental there with the Jeff, and I don't even know how they took out TTK. I would guess just a knockback, but wow. This is Crazy Raccoon absolutely walking up to the gates right now with 100 Thieves. They haven't even reached the door.
Really really seems to be the biggest win condition for Crazy Raccoon is getting these big It's Jeffs off. Regen Domain has been used quite early on, so J-Mac might want to be looking for the Feast of the Abyss quite soon now, especially when you have like the Soul Resurgence using Delana on the other side. There hasn't been any eliminations that have come in from 100 Thieves, but you can see just how far Crazy Raccoon have had to be pushed back. They're respecting this space that 100 Thieves are trying to fight in Claw 4, and a Meteor Air might be the thing that's being used instantly as the Kraken's impact. It does get a connection. There's not going to be that reset. It's a great hook, but that's a great shield coming in from Melania on the Invisible Woman.
Ayamoto not going to be landing due to that Iron Bulwark onto Terra, meaning they can keep that fight going. JT3 will fall, and Karmic Revival, but they've been caught, they're rumbled, and the damage output comes in. Harvey takes 2, but they're all coming back. Young-Hoon will not be reviving though, as they were already revived first in this, meaning no more healing from Invisible Woman. Lastro though does have it. It's Jeff. They can try and maybe get a little bit of extra sustain from that as the Blast Barrage comes on in, and there it is. It's Jeff to try and zone into the backline. They've got 3 literally every time so far. Looks like this time it's just a single focus, but Invis is a wonderful pickup.
It's the main focal target, and really 100 Thieves have not been able to actually chase him up. Able to survive. Melania's thrown in
Millennia stayed alive there. That's huge.
And also the invisible boundary to keep people going alive. So 100 Thieves are holding on as much as they can. There's still just under 2 minutes on the clock, Tedger, because of how quick Crazy Raccoon were to take that first point. There's still plenty of time for Crazy Raccoon to get past second.
He's from the Abyss. The damage output just too much for Higher. They tried to set up for a little bit of
Thieves get 2 there.
To try and heal through that anti-heal from
1
that
healer.
is just not enough. And the pressure being applied by Vinny here takes out Xionghoon, and they are set up for a spawn hold. Finally, 100 Thieves getting some momentum back.
For Crazy Raccoon as well, subbing in Hayen instead of Vital. They did try
just
to
under a
play
minute and a half.
Adam Warlock on position on domination a little bit early, and it wasn't quite working. But hold that thought, as a Galactic Legend from high in the sky is mostly just chipping down onto damage. He's able to get the elimination onto Lastro just as he gets the It's Jeff too, so it's going to stall out Crazy Raccoon a little bit longer.
A lot of damage from Terra there.
Amazing, like, multi-picks from
essentially wiping out the whole team. That's huge.
Damage from Crazy Raccoon.
And X has been doing
only
a
minute
great
left to
job.
work
They
with.
actually used a Trooper's Fist at one point to dodge out of the main damage area of Immediate M to survive it. But again, like you said, they haven't been as big of an impact as we've maybe seen them in the past.
They do have 5 ults though.
Their team. But when you're the solo duelist,
getting close to all 6.
You need to be starting to make these plays. These Kraken impacts need to start resetting.
Crazy Raccoon, only 30 seconds left. Time is whittled by pretty quickly, and a Kraken's impact would be a great way for this to start off. They're trying to make sure that Vinny gets punished, because he has been getting away with diving in, diving out with this Venom. Ayamoto, I don't think catching onto anything with J2-3, but the
big dunk from TTK.
Yet again, just as It's Jeff was used, he tried to use it to get out, but it gets taken out. No picks this time. And a Karmic Revival has to be used from the Adam Warlock. It's brought back a lot of players, and an invisible boundary means that there's a final fight here for Crazy Raccoon.
Galactic Legend from the sky with the Helmet of Soul Rejuvenation from Harvey, cloning with the God of Mischief, Blaster Barrage with the Iron Bulwark. Junghoon falls once again, invisible boundary, not enough for to sustain, and Crazy Raccoon are losing all of their sustain right now, meaning that there's no way they're going to be able to keep this fight going for much longer. With Regen Domain available for 100 Thieves, it's just 1 by 1, and it looks like this push from Crazy Raccoon will finally be stopped.
Decent spot, but I think when you look back at it for Crazy Raccoon with how quickly you took first,
the thing I know is coming is a damn Destiny. You tired?
Right at the start, you sort of expected to
be
like
me yesterday,
especially when you're able to get another like multi-pick Jeff ultimate. But 100 Thieves managing to
not as tired today because I had a Juvee and I got to sleep in a little longer.
As a reminder, is one-sided. 100 Thieves, as you can see from the drafts,
we have to know Jeff ult is coming soon for real.
Access to the Psylocke or the Mantis either. Some of the 100 Thieves have been building around a lot is that Mantis, and then Emma's not available on both sides either.
The situation.
I feel like that was a pretty good hold there for the Thieves, though.
They've got so many of these big hyper carry characters removed. They're sort of forced to lead onto that Winter Soldier, but they've decided against it this time. Looks like even though we're not on Convoy, they might be considering a 3-0-3.
Oh yeah, Steve, I forgot that game went deep into the
Terra sticking with that Starlord
into the night. I feel like
Millennia likely going to fill out the ranks with a 3rd strategist here.
Oh, it's raining. It's raining for you, Destiny.
The picks, yeah. Just, I'd say it's also like with Crazy Raccoon.
Yeah, sometimes that, especially if it's like a nice calm rain, nice steady rain.
But they also one-sided the group too, so NX is going to be using it. So it does feel like
Was never having the Dodgers on my TV.
It seems to be more of a focus on their defending side as opposed to the attack.
I would only have it to hate watch.
Safely can go out, make sure that the bridge is broken and stops 100 Thieves from using it as a purchase.
Yeah, that makes sense, Steve. Can't have a reaction at work, otherwise they're like, what are you doing?
Otherwise, we're not going to be seeing them at playoffs.
They need to even this up to get themselves back into this. If they can just hold back 100 Thieves, they might be in a good spot. But Terra bringing out the Wolverine and Delena bringing out the Winter Soldier. They've seen that triple Vanguard and they've realized that it's time to go for lockdown. Already J-Mac forced to retreat back in a way. Terra
Ooh, we get a Terra Wolverine? Okay.
To the point, but they're still able to
I haven't seen that in a minute.
Into the objective with the Fury. Regeneration Domain is already going to be utilized, which is one of the big defensive abilities available for Crazy Raccoon. And JT3
apparently Scrap was getting cooked for not rooting for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
why? Because he's on the Thieves?
A little bit more close quarters. I mean, with the Punisher, he was running in with a shotgun, so he's sort of more used to it.
I mean, I think most people in the U.S. don't want the Dodgers to win.
And it was the read, I suppose, of knowing NX might have gone for the group needs that this is just the prime target for Wolverine to be fighting. There's nothing that NX could do.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with who he likes. J-Cap coached for the Thieves, and he was very openly an Eagles fan.
Is absolutely carving through the Japanese squad, and that's a blisteringly first point.
I would love to work for LAT.
When you run a triple Vanguard, triple strategist, it's often
if
because
I work for LAT,
I
am not rooting for the Dodgers.
Maps. In this case, though, 100 Thieves just realized if you get forced off this,
why does everyone hate the Dodgers?
You can back up on Convoy and take a second fight.
I think everyone hates the Dodgers because they're one of, if not the biggest market team, and they essentially just buy all the best players, and then a lot of people in their fan base are very toxic. Like, very, very toxic. And then it's like, they talk a lot of shit when they win, but it's like, dude, you literally have the most expensive roster in baseball. You should win. Like, you should be winning.
The copy over from the Lokis, the Kraken's Impact, and Meteor M. Crazy Raccoon are using pretty much
that's at least that's my
They really do have to because it's already too close. They need to get momentum back. The Invisible Boundary coming out. Meteor M into the back line with the bonus helmet. Still enough to take
I also
out
don't
NX.
like their coach.
And with J-Mac trying to keep the team topped up, Hayden has to use that Karmic Revival because they just don't have time. They don't have opportunities to try and wait to hold out these abilities. But the Galactic Legend seems in from above the Regeneration Domain, buys them a little bit of extra time. Junk Hood falls
there we go.
Brought back for one last
Thieves
Karmic Revival,
the kills
but
here.
Just picked off a second time by Terra, who melts through. And this is 100 Thieves marching on in. There's no portal available for Crazy Raccoon, meaning they just have to charge it.
It just felt that Crazy Raccoon had to be a little bit more like conservative. They wanted to get control of the objective, but because
pretty much nailed it.
It's so hard to keep a hold of it because of all of the high ground to work with. So Crazy Raccoon use everything.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
my buddy said he wants the Dodgers to win because he likes Mookie Betts and he likes Freddie Freeman.
I'll just use it as soon as
they're both nice guys, whatever. I get that. Like, I think this current Dodgers team is probably the most, player-wise, is probably the most likable Dodgers team, in my opinion.
That Soulbot is just not enough, and J-Mac is just going to have to try and stand on this jumping on and off, but they stepped off for just too long, and that is going to be 100 Thieves moving on, and the hopes of Crazy Raccoon have essentially been scuppered.
It's down to like single-digit percentages at this rate, I imagine, but 100 Thieves, you
didn't
really expect them to be winning this series 2-0.
You're not wrong, Steve, but I think more of my issue is the fact that like they're doing like the deferment and stuff. So it's like they're not even playing, they're not even paying their players right now. They're deferring payment to pay them later on. And that, to me, is weird. Like, if you have players on your team, you should be paying them right now. You should not be able to push that down the line to be able to build, like, the best team in baseball.
When you're running that triple strategy setup, you need to be able to survive the Venom. The Venom is
you should have to pay your team
seems to have been a key
right
factor.
now.
That
You should not be able to have
with a bit
the
of
best
damage
pitcher
boost,
in
especially from that
baseball,
Mantis, was
like
too much. It
the
doesn't
well,
matter
the
if
best
you have
player
a
in
soul
baseball.
bomb, you're still getting
have multiple
detonated.
of the best pitchers in baseball, multiple of the best hitters in baseball.
And I don't even think
One of the best players in every position,
there's a lot more stuff left on the table for
and still have room to like they're talking about they might be trying to sign Kyle Tucker next year.
I can see it.
And I'm like, bro, Kyle Tucker is going to be the biggest free agent in baseball next year. The Dodgers, after the team that they have right now, they should not be able to sign a guy like that. Financially speaking, even if they are a top market team, at some point, like money needs to run out. They should not be able to just buy every good player in baseball.
Crazy Raccoon, they did make them
and
work
it like
but
works
that
out
second
for
round
them.
felt significantly different. Crazy Raccoon got a good push. Watching their push compared to 100 Thieves, 100 Thieves
See, and that's the thing, like,
they even put the
that's why I'm saying, like, I think the players that they have is probably the most likable the Dodgers have been in a long time, in my opinion. But the fact that they're on the Dodgers kind of just like tarnishes it for me. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're a likable player, but you're on the Dodgers. I can't root for the Dodgers. I can't root for the Dodgers. I just can't. Except for when they played the Brewers. Then I could. But now that they beat the Brewers and they're in the World Series, not anymore.
They know how to dismantle it as and when needed.
And with that,
I'm just like,
at 2-2. They are
I think the other part of it too is because I know,
and Crazy Raccoon
I know when the Dodgers hit that point
basically
where
the best that OUG Crazy
they don't have any of the players that they have now. They're having to pay all their deferment money.
OUG or Crazy Raccoon, it has to be even.
Like,
they play each other.
they're going to have a trash team because they're literally not going to be able to afford anyone because of how much money they put into deferment.
That is the only way 100 Thieves
and I think
out of the group.
When that happens,
are able to secure
the fan base is gonna, they're gonna hate.
I think so far when it
they're gonna hate the Dodgers, especially if the Dodgers do not win like this year. If the Dodgers don't win this year, and they don't win the next couple of years that they have all of these extremely talented, expensive players, oh, dude. Dodger fans are going to be pissed.
A little bit of an EMEA rivalry.
They're going to be pissed when they can't afford people.
That break, but when we come back, like we said, it is the EMEA clash. It's a mid-season finals rematch. This is one that we've been very much looking forward to.
At least that's my
biased.
thoughts.
Definitely not. We can't be biased. Both the teams are ours. So we're going to be heading to a break, and when we come back,
but yeah,
it's going to be Citadel Gaming versus
huge 2-0 for the Thieves. We have less pressure tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is more for seeding. Play FlyQuest, I believe, because that's the only team we haven't faced yet. So we play FlyQuest tomorrow, which FlyQuest looks pretty damn good. 2-0'd Citadel. Citadel made it tough for the Thieves. So I'm not expecting much tomorrow. But if we can beat FlyQuest, I think that'll be huge for seeding purposes. But we'll just have to see how it goes. Tomorrow, my plan is to only watch that match. I'm probably not going to be watching the other ones. But we'll be live before that. And then, yeah, then we'll be live for the matches during bracket play as well. At least that's the plan. Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think there's really anything else I need to talk about. That's all that's really coming up. So if you guys are interested in more of the Rivals matches, be on the lookout for when we go live this week, because ideally the Thieves play late into the week. That typically means that they're doing good, so we're hoping for that. And yeah, that'll do it for the stream today. I appreciate y'all being here. If you're on YouTube and you haven't already, be sure to like the stream, and hope to see you guys in the streams in the next couple days. All right, peace out, everybody.